What's up? Boy Jumpers, Wednesday. It's my favorite Wednesday of the week. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a great day of turkey and feasting. Sorry we missed you last week. It was okay without you. Probably would have been better with. What else? Nothing. Let's bring in the crew. What's up, everybody?
I always, when we first start the stream, I always do a head check where I see how big my head is relative to everyone else's head. This week I was like, it's way that head is too big. I gotta come back.
We balance each other out. You always have the big head. I'm always like way in the back.
I just get closer as the game goes on.
Well, welcome, my friends. We're going to be playing a game called Monster of the Week by Michael Sands. It's really good. If you haven't played it, you should. If you don't have it, you should get it. We love it because it lets us do whatever the hell we want and pretend like we're playing D&D and just having fun with each other. I don't think we have much to talk about at the top of the show tonight. So why don't we just let the recap roll?
Yeah, I heard you're actively using the 13 plus Legos now. That's excellent, man.
In case anyone's watching these out of order, Connor shaved. Woohoo! Chill, everybody!
It's cool with me. If you guys want to just waltz into this nest and destroy an ancient guardian spirit who's only interested in protecting the innocent, sweet little woodland creatures that you might see running from the flames in the beginning of Bambi.
Well, God, I'm just a warrior. I just want to smash it.
I pull out the handle of that knife that Tara gave me, that I've been carrying around with me since we were on that planet. And I say, it may not look like much, but it is imbued with my deepest hopes and dreams, and is very precious.
When you look up and you see Sam dangling above one of the caves by one leg, holding on his wizard's hat, his face is entirely feverishly red from blood flowing into his brain, with his other hand holding up his wizard robes to keep his nether regions covered.
Why are you hiding this?
Fine! Do you like it? I have vampire teeth now.
Are we even sure she's a vampire, actually?
I'm gonna hypnotize him. You to talk about how much you love Puck.
James Dean Handsome.
He's a cutie.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. First of all, let me just ask you, my players, my sweet little baby players. Did anybody level up?
Oh, no.
I'm just going to ask you every time so we can make sure you get cool stuff. I also want to remind you that Bryn is a vampire.
Yes.
All the way in. And that you so far have no fails yet towards upping the difficulty of your next test.
Don't worry, guys. I got you.
Thanks,
I got you guys.
Now, the way that this will work is because the arena test counts for 3. Each round will apply to upping the difficulty of the next round. So during this opening segment, if you get 3 fails, you will up the difficulty of round 2, not just the next test after you leave this place. So you have a lot of potential to really get fucked up. Also, I have an ability from chat that has rolled over in which I get to use a -1 on you fools to change one of your rolls. And so I'm gonna do it tonight because I don't want it to roll over again. And I'm just giving you a heads up. Okay. With that,
I have
yes.
right before we jump into this arena, just because we've had 2 weeks off, and I know I myself am still feeling a little sluggish from, what is it, tryptophan?
Yes.
Yeah? I think we should do just like a 3 seconds of classic VJ preparatory oof move just to get ourselves zoning.
Going.
Okay, feeling great.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Cue that bumper. I got Danny DeVito's fucking thing.
Tried to sneak a bite of that pizza during the bumper, but it was a pretty quick bumper there, wasn't it, Miss Miller?
Okay, so as you remember at the end of the last session, I will just give you a little lead-in here. You just climbed onto a ship in the belly of a very big warehouse. The ceiling opened up and water poured in, and your ship rises up into the arena, floating now in what you can clearly see is a man-made lake. The stands are packed with a shouting crowd of farmers. Curtains open on a raised box where you can clearly see Slakta sitting in her throne, presiding over the event. She gestures to the water across the arena. You turn to find a rival ship, this one flying black sails complete with skull and crossbones. A skeleton butler approaches Slakta with a gilded megaphone. The necromancer clears her throat and then shouts into it, "Adventurers! These pirates have stolen my treasure. Go and get it back for me, won't you?" Another of the skeletal butlers hammers a giant gong, and as brass rings dissipate in the air above you, the first round has begun. Now, before we jump into initiative here, you are on a full-sized vessel. You are the only crew on it. There is another one across the water from you, probably about 50 yards from where that you can see. The arena is completely full of water. The stands are at a height that they would be inaccessible to you by normal methods. And there are just a few look like man-made sandbars and reefs kind of dotted in the water. Otherwise, it looks pretty deep. That other ship seems to be crewed by at least 12 skeletons in what is clearly costume pirate attire. Some of them even have beards with the elastic tied around the back of their skulls.
I like
Their
to-
weapons, however, look real.
One of them didn't get their name in on time to be part of the pirate costume order, so they had to run out to Party City, and all there was like sexy pirate, and the skeleton is just wearing that kind of like, yeah, no, this is well purpose.
You've been tasked by Slakta to retrieve her treasure, which has been stolen by these pirates. We're now going to drop into initiative, and you can solve this conundrum however you like. We're going to start with Wizard.
Oh my goodness. Diplomacy with the undead always seems unwise. So, well, 12 skeletons.
At
Oh.
least a dozen on the deck, the upper deck of this ship.
And this is a fight to the death, so it seems like the primary thing that all wizards do in this situation is the thing that I will default to, because that's what wizards do.
Fireball?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking he's going to say too.
Fireball.
Okay.
We gotta get faster at like queuing up that Pitbull song to just play whenever you cast a fireball.
Is there a Pitbull song called Fireball?
Isn't there?
Yeah, it's like fireball. Whip, whip, whip. Fireball.
I have
Sex
no
candle.
You're making a joke right now, or if that's
Sexy
actually-
candles?
I think the only thing I know about Pitbull is Miami. I feel like he says that in a lot of his songs. So you know, Miami's hot, fireballs are hot. So yeah, Pitbull. Here we go. Hey, all right, we're off to a good start here. That's a an 11.
Okay. And you are Puck the wizard, right?
I'm Sam the wizard.
Sam. Okay. All right. So cool. With your spells, you get no complications. You launch a fireball at the ship. I think that.
Nice.
Just tee me up here on the casting, and I'll tell you about what happens when it hits the ship.
All right. Sam fans his hands together and spirals them out, starting as a small circle of flame that is opening a portal to the elemental plane of fire. It unleashes, drawing in energy and then summoning out a huge burst of flame that starts small, probably the size of a very angry pinata, flying across the waterway. And as it goes and is struck by sunlight, fans out until it becomes like almost meteoric in size and flies down towards the deck of the unsuspecting skeletons, who suddenly look up, and although they don't have faces to make facial expressions, it looks something like this. Huh?
As the fireball grows and streaks across the air, trailing a tail of smoke, you can hear that these stands, which have been pretty ruckus up to this point, get quieter and quieter as the fireball grows and grows and grows. And as it smashes into the pirate ship, taking a hole out of the side and completely disintegrating 4 of the skeleton pirates. After the eruption, you do hear the crowd quiet. Sam, is there any way that you would like to celebrate this moment?
I take off my wizard's hat and bow to the crowd and try to, if I don't know if there's like a prestidigitation type
a little cantrip of magic.
That as I like take off the hat, like some like doves fly out of it or something like that.
The crowd goes insane and they are chanting now, "Wizard, wizard, wizard." Sam, you're going to have a +1 forward for prestige because you have dealt the most damage this round. That will reset each round. It might stick with the same people depending on how it goes, but right now you get a +1 on your next maneuver or attack because the crowd is just pumping you up. Which brings us around to Warrior.
Woo. Okay, so we're on a ship and we're fighting another ship, or are we fighting people on our own ship?
You are fighting another ship. Sam has opened with a very long-range fireball.
Well, I look at Tag and I'm like, hey, so I could turn into mist. I don't know how far I can go, but I might be able to locate the treasure on the other ship in mist form.
You could turn into mist?
I think so. Look.
And she turns into mist.
Ah, you're in my mouth.
Stop inhaling me.
I'm not just breathing.
Yeah, so you can turn into mist, and you can make it all the way over to them. It's just part of what you can do. You have no ability to interact with objects or to do attacks when in mist form, but you can travel any distance, and it gives you the ability to fly, which we've never really fucked with before, so if you want to go crazy with it, feel free. But the pirate ship is far enough away that your first turn as mist will be to arrive at the pirate ship. You will not be seen other than a swirl of vapor.
Okay.
But the pirates are a little busy right now trying to put out the fire on their ship.
Okay.
So just tell us how you sail across the water to this other vessel, and as you arrive, we're going to go to the next character.
Okay. Well, I kind of envision myself, well, obviously as mist, but I'm going to ride the sea spray that flies up. So I'm just going to kind of like swirl with it and kind of ride it all the way over to the ship. And then when one big wave crashes up, I fly up on it onto the back.
Cool. Yeah, you are there. You can see clearly from your vantage that even though Sam did destroy 4 skeletons, there are 5 left. Sorry, I just counted that wrong. There are 8 left.
Oh. Okay. And I can't communicate with Tag in this planet. That sucks.
Yes. Which brings us to Cleric. You've just seen your warrior / vampire, because that is a vampire ability, turn into mist and go riding the sea spray.
All right. We're still pretty far away from this other ship, correct?
Yes. So your ship does have... If you'd like to use your turn to move your ship, you can. It also looks like it has some cannons. So it does have some ship abilities. You would just be, instead of doing cleric stuff, kind of assuming the role of captain.
Yeah, I'm in favor of just like a hard turn starboard,
Mhm.
and just like aiming to try and ram them while their ship's on fire.
Okay, cool. This won't be a problem necessarily. You can do this, but you're gonna have to roll act under pressure to, captain a ship single-handedly. It looks like these things are set up amusement park style, so they're not real ships. It seems like once you start to get going with them, they might facilitate a more dramatic battle. So that will be in your favor. You won't have to like mess with rigging and figure out masts and all that stuff. You're gonna be just fine.
All right. And what's the +4?
Normally this would be Dex, but I think this is much more a lore situation because you're going to be trying to drive a ship.
That is an 8.
Okay, cool. You make it over to the big steering wheel, and you can see very clearly next to it, there's a small box which looks to be powered by some kind of crystal, and there's a knob that can just go forward or reverse, and the steering wheel does seem to control the ship. So you crank it into forward, and the ship lurches forward, and you all realize that it is on a track that is now moving it forward. And when you spin the wheel to starboard, your ship goes to the right and starts heading towards that ship. You will be able to cross this distance this turn, and your smashing maneuver will be on your next turn. Which brings us to Tag, the rogue.
Oui. So, I believe we ended the last episode with me turning invisible and kind of just camping out on our ship. The cleric has just steered us towards the other ship. How far are we from impact?
I'd say that if you want to coordinate your action with the impact, we can have it happen on your turn. Otherwise, it will not smash into hers. But it can be within range of, like, boarding or something like that this turn if you'd like.
All right, so that's my move. I'm gonna take this time to climb up to the top of the crow's nest, get my feet up on top of the thing outside of the safety railings, come into a nice firm squat and be ready to use that point of impact to launch myself, Mad Max style, to hopefully the top of their crow's nest.
Okay.
Another safe landing spot.
Yeah. All right. Cleric, roll, kick some ass with, actually, this one's going to be an actual act under pressure with Dex. This is for your smash.
You can do it.
Ooh, I did do it. 8.
Okay.
Well, the first one I rolled was a 3, and then the other one had like slid under my computer, so I had to pull it out. So there was a lot of trepidation about what I was actually going to find.
All right. So you feel this from the crow's nest. Oh, yeah. You feel this from the crow's nest, Tag. Your ship smashes into the pirate ship midships and lurches to a halt. There is a large crack that forms in the hull of the other ship, and yours comes to a stop. But the mixed success of this is you seem to have knocked your ship off the track, so it probably will not be steerable from this point. But you have successfully dealt 5 damage to their ship. It looks to be okay. But there was a big fireball that hit it before you smashed it, which helped yours. Tag, you can use the momentum of this smash however you'd like.
Okay.
Do we get a reenactment?
And I fly from the ship and just grab onto the rope hanging from the crow's nest and whirl myself down. Thank goodness I'm wearing Rogue's gloves. From what's our corporate sponsor?
Givenchy.
Givenchy. Thank you. And just give me a little lay of the land. So I've landed.
Okay.
I think still invisibly. It seems like there's a lot going on, that those distractions would work in my favor.
Yeah. So with you, because you are so geared towards dexterity, you won't have a problem. If you were going to launch off of that into an attack, it would require a roll. But because you're just jumping from a crow's nest down to a rope onto a thing, that's very roguish. You're cool. Your invisibility will not drop unless you attack or do something that will provoke you to be seen. So you have to ask for this.
But I'm just looking for a lay of the land.
Sure.
Who do I see? How many scrambling here on the top of the deck?
You see about 3 or 4 skeleton pirates trying to put out the fire. 2 of them have been knocked prone from the ship that just smashed into it. And there seems to be 3 or 4 kind of scattered around preparing for an attack that do not seem to be bothered with this.
Okay.
And there are 6 cannons that you can see and 2 masts. There is a slightly upper deck where their steering wheel is. Their ship is slightly larger than the one that you just crashed into it.
All right. Well, I'm going to go downstairs and do some sabotage.
Okay.
What I'm looking for is a storage room that might have a large supply of gunpowder, backup cannonballs, things like fireworks.
The first, so you go down, you find a trapdoor and you're able to slip under in the chaos. The first area that you get down into seems to be the crew's quarters. It is just an open place that you could tell would have been used for storage at one point, but now has just a bunch of hammocks that are slung together. You see 6 more skeleton pirates working to bring 2 cannons up onto the top deck. They've been knocked sideways because of the collision, and they're now all fighting each other about the best way to untangle these cannons. There is a staircase on the other side of them that leads down further. This does not seem to have what you're looking for, but there is a lot of skeletons and cannons in between you and the staircase.
I want to slip right by him. I don't want to engage.
Okay, you are going to have to roll Act Under Pressure, just because it is a little tight down here.
Sure.
Mostly because there's part of a ship sticking into this ship that you're taking up part of the hallway.
10.
Okay.
I have a sneak bonus that gives a +1 to any stealth rolls. This seems like that would apply?
Yes.
Okay, 10.
Okay, you make it through them. Tell me how you get through a bunch of skeletons that are messing with cannons. Perfect.
Classic kind of like spider walk on the walls. Putting, like climbing up, putting my 2 hands on this side of the staircase wall and my feet on the other, just shimmying over the top of their heads.
Okay. You drop down on the other side of them effortlessly and soundlessly and make it to the staircase. When you go down, you see that you are in a large cargo hold that has a variety of different things in here. You think you are in the right place, but you don't see what you're looking for immediately. Which brings us to the wizard.
Does our ship have cannons?
Yes, your ship has 8 cannons, 4 on either side. So the way that you are positioned right now, you will need to do a little bit of maneuvering to aim them at the ship in front of you. Because there's 4 starboard, 4 port, none facing forward, and the front of your ship has just rammed into them.
Sure. Okay.
But, possible. They don't look damaged. You could,
Let's try to wield. Is Rex still navigating the ship, or has Rex, did you...
It seems like she's successfully crashed this vessel into the other vessel, so if you guys want to get a little teamwork going, that's cool.
Hard to starboard! Hard to starboard!
Yeah, Rex, you want to see if you can get...
are!
You want to see if you can get this thing turned
Bring us about.
Okay, I think this will be both of you. Wizard, you'll be rolling magic because it seems like this contraption that is powering it is made out of magic. And Rex, you will just be using lore because you are trying to work the mechanics of this thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, guys.
Hey, gang.
Oh, it's so nice to see you with my snake eyes.
What did you roll, Trin? Sorry, Rex. The exact opposite.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I love this. I kind of was hoping this would happen.
Cool.
So here's what happens. Rex, you just are able to get the ship going and turning in the exact right direction. Unfortunately, Sam, while fucking with the engine, jumps it a little too hard, and instead of a close turn, your ship actually starts to carve through the other ship. Tag, in the holds below deck, you see the wall cave in and water start flooding in as this ship is breaking through the wall and turning. That being said, as it completes that and all the skeletons have scattered and the flames are now out, your ships are now smashed together and your cannons are pointed towards the other ship. It seems to be sinking, however. What would you like to do, Wizard?
Well, it seems that it will be imperative then to locate this treasure before it ends up at the bottom of this pond. So, spells of attacking only. I see. Well, I think the most exciting thing to do is to grab a rope and swing to the other ship.
Okay.
To
act under pressure. Plus Dex.
Plus what now?
Dex?
Lore? lore of ropes? Lore of Tarzan? Okay. Well, I can't get lower than 2. Actually, I have a -1 to dexterity, so that's not necessarily true.
Oh no!
Sam grabs a rope, points his staff at it, and gives it a quick blast, freeing it from being tied around the mast. He runs and swings across the ship, out over the other side of the pirate ship, lets go, and flies right into the water on the other side of the vessel.
Uh-oh.
All you hear is, "Ah!" Warrior, you are in mist form on the upper deck of this pirate ship. You can see that there is a hatch that leads down into what you think might be the captain's quarters, and also a big steering wheel. Sorry, I meant to say warrior. Did I say warrior?
You did.
Okay.
Well, I would keep a treasure in the captain's quarters, so I'm gonna go down there.
Okay. You are able to pass through the walls, so you float down into the captain's quarters in mist form and find yourself in a rather roomy, for a ship, circular office/lodging. There's some velvety curtains with frills on the windows, old rugs on the floor. There's a fire burning in what looks like a very, very, very make-do-with iron stove that's been built out of a cannon, and a very large desk. You do not, however, see any obvious treasure chests. But the desk is ornate and covered in papers and has several drawers.
I'm gonna... Well, to open the desk, I'm gonna have to go back into human form, correct?
Yes.
Well, we're gonna do that and just start pulling open drawers.
All of the drawers that you can open seem to just be full with logs, manifests, boring administrative stuff, but there are 2 rather large drawers at the bottom of each side of the desk, both of which are locked. What would you like to do?
First off, what's the name of the captain on the paperwork so I know who to address when I go upstairs?
His name is Gwiffy.
Wait, what did you say? His name was what?
Gwiffy.
Woofy?
Captain Daniel Gwiffy.
Okay. I would like to use my brass knuckles and punch the drawer open.
Okay,
Punch
left
the
or
lock.
right?
Huh?
Left or right?
Drawer?
Yes.
Lefty loosey. It's always left.
Okay. Just roll, I think, just strength. You get a +1 when using brute force to overcome obstacles.
10.
Okay. You smash the face off of this drawer. It falls down, creating a little ramp, and out rolls 1 health potion, 1 antidote, and what looks to be a paring knife that makes you a little woozy if you look at it for too long.
What?
Talking some cursed blade.
Track your own potions, all right?
Dagger of seasickness.
Okay, so 1 health, 1 anti-poison or whatever, and a woozy blade.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
old woozy blade.
Woozy blade.
There's 1 more locked drawer. How
Oh,
would you
I'd
like-
smash it.
Okay, roll plus strength.
Oh shit. Okay, it's a 6, but I can use my point from chat to make it a
Right.
7.
Right?
So I'm doing it. Thanks, chat.
What I want to do is use mine to negate that, but you are so lucky that I feel it would invalidate the gift that's been given to you, so I'm gonna not do it.
So
However,
we're really lucky that you're going to save this devastating move for another potentially more disastrous time.
Yeah, I feel
We
like
are
you're
lucky for
taking it for when it will have even more negative impact, is what I think is happening.
sure. This is what happens.
I think because, if I may, because this it was a chat point that lifted this into a success, I really want to take a moment, Lisa, if you want. I just want to hear the full celebratory smithereen smashing of this desk.
Wait, you want me to just be like, "What's up, desk? Fuck you!" Oh!
You read my mind.
There you go.
Warrior Bryn says, "What's up, desk? Fuck you," and pummels this thing. When you make contact with the front of the drawer, you feel it give in a way that does not feel like wood. Your hand sinks into it about 6 inches and then is flung back. And as this rather rubbery substance snaps back to shape, it curls into a ball, which seems to encompass everything that might have been inside that drawer, and then rolls out of the desk. It is now changed into an orb of protection because it was trapped with magic.
Oh shit.
However, there is just an orb that you think is full of useful stuff sitting on the ground in front of you. It's about the size of a
In my
volleyball.
pocket.
Okay.
Or no, I put it in my pocket.
Okay. Track that, please. Which brings us to Cleric. You've just ripped the side off of a ship with another ship. What would you like to do?
I think I would like to leap from my one ship to the other ship and wield my shield like a frisbee and try and knock a bunch of skeletons down. That's what I would like to do.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sweet. We're just going to make you kick some ass, and your result will kind of encompass the success of all of those things.
That is a 7.
So just tell me your leap and your fling of the shield, and I will tell you the result.
All right. Well, Rex is feeling pretty pumped because this whole time, I haven't been as physically strong as I'm used to being, but I have just smashed apart this other ship. So in a burst of confidence, I try and leap from one ship to the other ship. I trip over my own feet and fall flat on my face on the other ship, and then I quickly jump up and anybody didn't know saw that? Cool. And then there's some skeletons that are laughing at me. Like, shut up, skeletons! I will smite thee! And I fling my shield like it's a frisbee at them.
Okay. You hit one of the skeletons, which shatters into a pile of bones, and your shield, unexpectedly, ricochets back right at you and catches you in the chest, knocking you back onto your back, dealing whatever it deals, which is 2 harm, armor and physical, not stacked, so not 2 of each, but just 2 total, and knocks you onto your butt.
I have been smoted.
Which brings us down into the hold, where the area has been shredded by a ship and filling up rapidly with water. Tag.
So I think that the scene is this. Tag has been very carefully kind of like the fox in the second Ocean's 11 movie crawling around. There's like do kind of like stealthy techno heist music playing in his head. He gets down to the hold. He's like taking a cannonball and is slowly, precisely cracking it open to make it this rigged explosive when suddenly one wall is taken off by a ship just charging in front. It's filling up with water. It's sinking. Very clearly, whatever his diabolical plan was to sabotage the integrity of this hull has been triply accomplished by all of his teammates. He's now holding what feel like very impotent little toys in the face of the destruction that he's surrounded by. So Tag is just like, Plan B, and skittles out of the hold. Do I see like a lone skeleton kind of running around chaotically?
There are none in the cargo hold with you, but there are still those 6 that were upstairs, which have given up on the cannon and are now trying to stop the water from crashing into their ship. Are you leaving the cargo hold or going up?
Let me do this. Yeah, it sounds like I guess Tag wouldn't know where Bryn is. He knows that Bryn is searching around on this ship, so I think that Tag is going to stay at the bottom level and do a little search of his own around here.
Sure. You're going to roll investigate. Actually, I think this is more of a read a bad situation just because the place is flooding.
We're talking
Lore
now. I mean, if you have a moment later on to just drop that in chat. I'm on a new computer, an old computer, but I don't have any of the docs. That's going to be a 12.
Okay. You get to ask me 3 questions.
Oh, geez. All right, I'm not going to waste time trying to find this stuff in front of me. Let me ask, what is being concealed here?
You have to dive into the water because it is quickly filling up, but you know that time is running out. And so you start swimming around through the hold, and you are able to see that there is a false wall that reveals kind of like a smuggler's room towards the back of the ship. It was destroyed cleanly by the ramming. Inside, there are several crates and what appears to be a rather large and decorative treasure chest.
Too big for me to do anything about, I assume?
You will have to roll to move it. You would be able to interact with it just fine here, but it will take some doing because you are underwater and so is it.
So here's what I'd like to do. Let me just go back to the sort of a combo plan A, plan B. I'm going to take those explosives I had started rigging in the hold, bring them over, and I'm going to try to blow a hole right below this treasure chest so that it drops out of the ship and onto the floor of this little amusement park thingy.
Okay. Yeah, I think that you can just find your stuff, and if you spend one of your hold from this read a bad situation, you'll be able to get what will just be a +1 towards a bigger success of what you're going to do. Because you've already been fucking around with the explosives. So now it's just about how do I make them happen underwater, which isn't impossible on a pirate ship.
Let me just... I just had a moment, sort of like a you're a wizard, Harry moment, where I was like, Tag, you're a fucking rogue, man. Open the chest. Well, let me just before I like blow a hole in the ship, put this chest on the bottom of the floor. Let me just see what's inside.
Yeah, you can use lockpicking, which is, I think, on your sheet.
10.
Okay, the lock opens. You are able to work this lock underwater. It takes some strength to open the chest while it is down here. You are running out of breath, but inside the chest, you find... You ready for this?
Yes.
1 health potion, 1 spell crystal, 20 gold. I don't think you'd know what this is, but it looks to be like some kind of grenade, and 1 vial of liquid.
Don't drink it.
Don't drink it, but also drink it.
You will be able to very easily find out what the items are that you don't immediately recognize. Sam can identify things rather easily as a wizard.
This seems like not... I was thinking it was going to be, like 200 pounds of gold bars. This seems like stuff I can transport by myself.
You do get the feeling when you saw this treasure chest that this was the treasure chest, and perhaps the theatrics of making it to the goal and achieving it were the treasure, not necessarily actually bringing treasure back to Slakta. So you are now in possession of all those items, which brings us back to Wizard. And I forgot to do something. We're going to award the 2 prestige points to Rex and Sam for destroying the ship in 1 maneuver. So this round, you guys both have a +1 on your first maneuver. We are now at Wizard.
Wizard is... I'm going to climb my way out of the water, scale back up the rope, up the side of the ship, completely soaking wet, droopy hat and all, onto the back onto the deck of the skeleton's ship. Sort of survey the scene, see, flames coming up and like the big rift in the side, and maybe hearing people down below and this ship starting to capsize, and hoping that my friends are okay, but also realizing there's still quite a number of skeletons on the deck of this ship.
There are, and at this point, they have all acclimated to the chaos, and kind of coinciding with the moment Tag clicked the lock, they seem to have all dropped the let's put out the fires, let's do this stuff, and have now turned into let's protect the treasure.
Are they still on the main deck, or have they gone below?
Yes, you got in front of you still 8 of them skeletons.
Okay, so what Sam is going to do is, as the water runs down his robes and starts to splash along the deck, he's going to stab the deck with his staff and freeze the ground to try to create a slippery slope so all the skeletons just slide off into the water.
Cool. I think as this is happening, the ship has gotten to a point of sinking where it's starting to lift up, and you are almost grabbing a rope and putting the staff in front of you to create ice that cascades down. Roll it, buddy.
Try to capsize these kids. All right, so that is a 9.
Cool. So choose your glitch.
Okay, let's pop
Wait,
on.
does that include your +1?
Oh, you get a +1, which puts you to a full success.
Oh yeah, nice.
Damn.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
the bonus effect is that it is AoE, which I think is kind of what you're looking for anyways.
Yes, it is.
You are able to create a slip and slide that works its way down towards the water, and you see 4 of the skeletons do a very classic as they clack, 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 splash off. The other ones manage to grab ropes and railings, and they begin kind of like daggers in teeth,
Nice.
climbing their way up the ship, avoiding the ice, working their way towards the wizard, who's... Oh, yeah. I think we have to switch this. I was seeing you at the top of the ship. You were in the water, but the ship... Yeah, that's right. You climbed up. Got it. I'm just catching up, okay, Wizard Sam? Yeah, so it goes off and does your thing, and you look very cool and very heroic. But there are now... Let me just make my marks. There are still 4 skeletons who are climbing up, working their way towards you. It's going to take them a minute. Which brings us to Warrior Bryn. You are holding an orb of protection made out of a dresser drawer, standing in the captain's quarters.
Oh boy. I'm gonna climb back up onto the deck.
Sure. There is just a door that'll let you out. It's locked, but it's locked from inside, so you can just turn the little knob and go out.
Or just punch your way through it.
Okay. You kick the door off its hinges. The room is slanted now. Everybody is now in a slanted place except for Rex, who I believe is still... No, you're on this fucking ship too. Everybody's just on this slanted, like, end of Titanic ship. You kick out a door, which flips away and narrowly misses one of the skeletons, and 2 of them are now looking at you, Bryn, and start clawing their way towards you.
Do I see the captain? I'm just gonna yell out, Captain Daniel Whiffy. Did you say Whiffy?
I said, Captain Daniel Guiffy.
Oh, Whiffy. Gotcha. I'm gonna yell it out and see if one of them is him.
Okay. As you say that, you can see a backdrop kind of slide around behind the audience, and it looks like stormy skies that were hand painted, and somebody rattles on a drum, and there's somebody off to the side that's just like smashing crystals and creating flashes. This is all done by skeleton butlers, and it just brings this very, very homemade storm. And you see climbing up over the other side of the boat, at first just a very tall hat with golden tassels that are soaking wet rising up over. And then you see the captain, who's wearing a long ratty trench coat, full skeleton with a very tall hat, climb up as though he may have been flung over during the initial collision. He is holding in one hand a large curved scimitar, and in the other a funky looking blunderbuss that has swirling black energy kind of vortexing at its barrel.
I would like to hypnotize him.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Bryn. You are going to roll.
I roll or you roll?
You roll plus magic, and I'm going to flip your results for when you try to do it against NPCs. So basically, if you roll a 10 plus, you hypnotize them. If you fail, they don't have to do anything.
And I use Warrior Bryn's magic? Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah? Okay, so here's what's up.
Damn.
Oh, no. And I gotta draw a thing out of the hat.
Yeah,
How
so
many
that's your
fails is
third
that?
fail, which bumps your damage up to hard mode for the next round. Also, I forgot, Bryn, it's been daylight this whole time, so you're supposed to have been at -1 for all your stats. We're going to let it slide because I totally forgot. But I'm going to delay nighttime, which I was going to serve up to you a little early, for a little bit longer. So you have to be penalized in that sense.
Right.
You actually look up into the sky, and you see the sun, which had been setting. The world freezes, and the sun rolls back a little bit, and in the face of the sun, the ghost of Slokta appears and goes, ah, ah, ah. And you can see that we've just set the clock back 2 hours.
Oh, no.
Pull something out of your hat.
Oh, Slokta, you silly son.
Oh, God.
All
A
your spells are
wild monster appears.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Great. I prepared.
Awesome. Sea serpent. Sea serpent.
It won't be thematically appropriate because it was ready for the Halloween episode and I just kept it.
Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Everyone roll. It is a straight roll. Whoever fails, let me know.
2.
That's my girl.
10.
Damn it.
7.
Cool. So
Snap.
Jesperin, that's even better. When Slokta goes and you see the whole like skybox of the video game reverse, and then the rest of the memory begin to play forward, a faintness comes over you, Bryn. Quite suddenly, you need to sit down. You take a step back into the captain's quarters and slam the door shut behind you. You have trouble finding your balance because the ship is still at a slant. When you catch your footing, it feels as though you've stepped into a tangle of rope. Instinctively, you try to rest free, but notice your limbs are stuck to the thick strands. The harder you fight to catch your balance, the more entangled you become. And now you notice that the thick strands of web are crisscrossing the room. At their end points, there is a tear in the fabric of this memory, and you can tell that this is coming from a place that is not connected to Slokta's magic. Those tears in the fabric ooze malice, as does the gigantic black spider, which slowly lowers itself from the ceiling down into the center of the room. Ichor, malice, drips from its mandibles. You are tangled in a web as it approaches. Cleric!
Nightmare.
And none of us can see this happening, right?
Nobody has any idea where Bryn is because she entered the ship in mist mode, opened the door, yelled the captain's name, and then fell backwards.
Then I think I'm probably still trying to put some hurt on these skeletons.
Cool. The last we saw you, you'd fallen onto your back. I think that you had to roll over and catch some kind of railing in order to hold yourself, as we saw Sam triumphantly ice the deck. But you can see that there are still 4 skeletons and a larger skeleton with a captain's hat climbing over the railing onto the deck.
Are any of them on the deck yet?
At this point, yes. They're kind of how you are. It's turning into that fight in Inception with Joseph Gordon-Levitt where the hallway's just turning upside down. Everybody's just kind of like grabbing onto stuff and trying to stand up and hanging off of things.
All right. I think I'm going to, just try and charge through whichever one is closest to me.
Yeah, there's one close to you.
Shield bash.
We're just going to do kick some ass, and should you fail any of these, that will affect your footing. As of right now, everybody feels pretty competent because it's not actually sinking. You can see that like the ship's being rotated on some kind of gear and like slowly lowered into the water with gouts of bubbles and shit being popped up just for like theatricality.
All right. That is an 8.
Cool. So your shield does 2, I believe, magic and physical. And you smash into a skeleton, flinging them into the water, and manage to catch their hold before you fall. But one behind you does get a swing of their sword off, which deals 2 harm physical, which I think you are able to just deflect with your shield. Yeah.
Yes.
So there is now a skeleton in your immediate vicinity who has just taken an attack against you, but it's clanged harmlessly off of your shield. Rogue,
Yeah.
you've got a bunch of treasure and you're underwater. You are starting to run out of air.
This room is usually far below the water level?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to swim out. You said when the treasure chest opened, the skeletons kind of became alerted to that.
Mm-hmm.
Was that with anything that Tag would have heard, like some kind of gong or anything like that?
No, it just was. It wasn't a big moment. It was just Sam was really the only one who noticed it. It was just a change in their demeanor.
Gotcha.
As of right now, from where you are in this kind of smuggler's hold in the cargo of this ship, you are just underwater and can't see or hear much.
Okay. Then I want to just start swimming up. And I want to swim up is to the point that I can see. Maybe it's where one of the cannons pokes out. Maybe it's one of those little circular holes that are in cruise ships. I don't know about pirate ships. Till I can see one of those. I'm not trying to walk up to the deck. I'm trying to walk up above water level so that I can sneak up one of those and then climb the outside of the ship.
Cool. You are swimming towards the stairway that will take you. There's a big crack in the wall if you just want to get out of the ship where you are. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you are able to just swim out of this into the water. It's just the place that was sheared off by the other ship.
Cool. I want to climb up the outside of the ship.
Cool. As you surface, you do see two different skeletons go splash, splash, and fly into the water behind you, but they seem to be dead. And there is some rigging on the side of the ship that will allow you to climb up. If you'd like to make it to the deck, you can do so without a roll.
Great. I'd like to do so, and I'd like to remain undetected while doing so. So if I need to sacrifice a little time, I will.
Okay. Just roll a sneak, which will dictate how sneaky you are.
Ooh, not my best. That'll be a 7.
Okay, cool. You will be able to get up there and do one thing before anybody notices you, but you're not invisible by any means.
Okay.
When you get up there, you can see that Rex has just deflected a blow from a skeleton, and Sam is hanging off the side, and there is a large sheet of ice stretching down towards the other end. And the most mobile of the skeletons is the captain, who is now using his sword to kind of God of War leap across the boat and move towards hit the captain's quarters, which is closed, and you can't tell what he's after.
You know, Jesse, that I am an Xbox guy, and your God of War references go completely over my head.
Okay, yeah, just like Uncharted then.
Oh, best game.
Or Last of Us 2. Or Ghost of Tsushima. A little PlayStation humor for you. Just a little PlayStation.
Console wars. Who's gonna win? Nobody gives a fuck. Okay, back to the game. I'd like to use this one invisible move to try to sneak up right behind the captain as he's banging down the door, and I want to disarm him and take his blunderbuss.
Okay. You are going to be able to get to him without being seen because of your stealth roll, but you are going to have to roll Act Under Pressure to get the blunderbuss.
And my stealth +1 will apply here?
No, the stealth +1 would have applied to finding out how sneaky you are. This is just going to be disarming somebody who's pretty good at hanging on to their weapons. So you're trying to be fast and surprising.
Okay, 9.
Okay. You, as the captain, slams the scimitar into the door frame and makes to reach to put away the blunderbuss so he can open the door. You're able to grab it and yank it away. The two of you are now kind of hanging precariously on some ropes and railings and all the things around this door. But he does see you immediately and turns and punches you with his now free hand. It only deals 1 harm physical, but it does knock you flying. you are able to hold on to the blunderbuss, but you've now fallen down and landed against the railing, which is like a floor at this point because of the tilt of the ship.
You said he or I have hung on to the blunderbuss.
You have, but you've just been knocked kind of far down. And you've taken 1 harm, but I think you've got some armor.
I do.
Okay. Who dealt the most damage that round? I think it would have been Sam with the double skeleton or triple skeleton kill.
Yeah,
So you still got the 4. Okay. You still got the +1, and you can still hear the crowd over the sounds of the percussion-based storm soundtrack and the skeletons who are just like smashing crystals still. You can hear the crowd just saying, "Wizard, wizard, wizard, wizard."
As long as I've got a bonus, I may as well try to do something fancy.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to attempt to swing back to our ship on the rope before the skeletons get to me.
Okay.
So they're crawling up. I'm going to try to swing back where I came from.
Okay. You got a +1 to this, and it's a dex.
All right. There's something I want to do there, but let's see if I even get there. Okay, yeah. So that's with the +1, that's a 10.
Cool. Yeah.
I
you do
try to
it.
combine a move with the wizard right now.
Sure.
So if I'm picturing geography correctly, I'm kind of hanging on at the highest crest of this slanted ship. I'm sorry, I'm doing all of my jaunty stuff completely off camera, just letting my elbow talk. And I can just see the wizard start to swing over my head. And as he does, I just want to take off my sack and toss it up to him. So that stuff we just recovered, grenade, mysterious liquid vial, he has it in his possession.
Sure. Roll act under pressure. He's got a +10, so as long as you don't fuck up the toss, he's going to get the throw.
10.
10?
Yeah.
It happens just as you say it. You call out to him just in time. Sam, on his really cool swing across, snatches it out of the air and now has the treasure pouch. Sam, you land safely on the deck of your ship, which is not sinking. What would you like to do?
So I plant my staff in the deck with the treasure bag hanging off of it. I wheel out like a little burst of fire from my fingertips, light the cannon and point it at the now solitary captain standing in front of the door, since Tag has slid away. And I look at him and I say something real clever like, I got a bone to pick with you.
Cool. Just roll plus magic.
Every time that tickles me.
Wow, that's a 13.
Cool. So these cannons deal 5 damage, harm, or physical and magic. This crashes into him. You see parts of his bones just flinging out, and he flies forward, landing on top of Tag. But he suffers a tremendous blow. And is not looking too hot. Tag, he is now unarmed on top of you. But we go back to Warrior Bryn, who is tangled up in a web facing down a very large spider.
Can I hypnotize it?
You could try.
Which of its 8 eyes are you going to look into?
One in the middle.
Roll it. Plus magic.
All right. So I'm
You are
just
at a
at
negative 1.
Wait a minute. So I'm at a -1 for magic, and I'm in a -1 because it's light. So I'm at a -2.
No, the way that it works is your stats don't fluctuate. They just have 2 settings, daytime, nighttime. At daytime, every single one of your stats is just a -1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just at a -1. It's a 9.
Okay, cool. You and I talked briefly about what is going to become a potential problem for you. You are trying to get inside the head of something that is 100% summoned by the malice.
Yep.
When you rolled a failure, the chaos magic that we've been kind of talking about on and off, it just fired out and opened a rift. And I think that the malice is constantly poaching you guys in that other plane. And it is just very difficult for it to make contact except in moments of weakness or in very magical areas. Because you are rolling a mixed success, you will be able to tell this skeleton, or sorry, this spider, how is it? It's like you can give it one command before the spell is broken. I will let you do that, and then we will address your mixed success after that. What is your one command for this spider?
Go drown yourself in the sea.
Okay. It turns around and starts pawing at the door, which you closed on your way in, but seems unable to get through and is just kind of butting its head into the door. It then gets more and more nervous as it starts fighting around the room to try and find a way out, but there isn't a good way. So now you've just got this really scared, skittering spider that cannot get out of the room. It's like the size of a rhino, though, so it's just like pummeling this room. You're standing in the center of this storm when you feel that hypnosis reverse on you. And you see, it's the first time that you've been in the phase state since you've been on Blight, I believe. Or at least since you first landed. And you do see Half-Dad, who's been rather silent for some time now, I think. And he is facing you, and he's holding a little pocket watch that's dangling in front of your face. And he says, Bryn, something's different about you.
I smile very big, and I say, I don't know what you're talking about.
This planet's been troublesome for us. Unlike the others, we haven't made headway into any of the agendas that we had about invasion. I almost think you might be of some use.
I would be of use to you?
Absolutely. It seems Blight magic interacts with the malice in a very strange way. It drains power. It's similar to what the malice itself does, but the malice eats power and converts it into a very powerful energy that we can use to power our war machines and our magics. Blight just removes power, erases it, for seemingly no purpose. It's why the planet suffers. It's why those who can use its magic cannot get stronger. The power that is drained disappears and does nothing for anyone, and I think that is what's slowing down our entrance into this world. Do you know Summoner Capio?
Yeah, I met him.
He's found a way to slow us down and fashion a device to alter Blight magic to mimic the malice. He's trying to drain power to fuel his machines of war and his magics, and with our magics that he's stolen, he's being a little successful at it. Anyways, when you meet Summoner Capio, you will, without a doubt, open the door that he closed to let us back into Blight. Understand? And as you watch the pocket watch that Half-Dad is swinging, and you can feel this reverberation of the hypnosis spell that you just cast on the spider bounce back to you, you know that without a doubt, when you meet Summoner Capio, you will do this one action for Half-Dad before the spell is broken. You will open the door to let him back into the Blight planet that Summoner Capio closed. Please write that down on your character sheet.
I have to. Ugh.
And with that, the vision breaks apart, and you are back in the cabin watching this rhinoceros-sized spider tear the room apart. Cleric! You just blocked a scimitar, and there's a skeleton fighting you.
Yeah. I think that now's a good time as any to be like, to pick up my shield and just be like, nah! Yeah!
All right, kick some ass.
$13.
Okay. You smash the skeleton, and it flies over the side into the water. You can see that there's really only one of them left, crawling towards what could possibly allow them to board your ship and follow the wizard. And there's also the captain who has fallen on top of Tag. Tag.
Yo.
You got a skeleton captain laying on top of you, and he doesn't look very good.
Yeah. I'd like to just kind of wiggle that blunderbuss right up under his rib cage. I imagine he's about this close to me, so it's a very intimate shimmy, and pull the trigger.
Sure. Roll kick some ass. This is going to be strength, not dex, even for you, because it is a very heavy weapon.
That's a 10.
What fucking dice are you using, man?
Yours, dude.
All right. When you click the trigger, it doesn't explode the way that you would expect it to. It implodes, and that little black vortex of energy reaches out very quickly and starts sucking the captain's bones into the blunderbuss. It sounds like a corrupted magical vacuum cleaner, but that little tornado funnels the entire captain in. It would have just dealt 5 harm, both magic and this, with the effect that on death, anything it hits does this. But he was so weak, you've just vacuumed up all the bones into this very strange blunderbuss.
This really feels like that final scene in Alien Resurrection when the baby alien gets turned into a skeleton and sucked out the air seal.
What happens, though, when the effect stops is that the black energy swirling out around the barrel is no longer there, and instead you can see a wedge of bones as though the gun is now loaded with the skeleton captain.
I carefully turns around, looks in the barrel. Sir? Daniel? Dan?
A little hand wiggles itself up between the femurs, and you could tell it's trying to flip you off, but there just isn't enough room.
Tag flips the gun over his shoulder, finger off the trigger, and what's the situation? I feel like we've got this shit under control. How many skeletons are still here?
We're switching to Wizard. Wizard, you can see that there is one last skeleton clawing its way towards your ship. Bryn is nowhere in sight. Rex just flung another one into the water, and you just absorbed the captain into this blunderbuss.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and sniper the last skeleton with a magic missile, but again, I think because I did the most damage, I have to do something out of the ordinary as well to keep this crowd going.
Yeah, they're fucking jacked up.
So, I think the most absurd thing I can do is I got to go back to the ship. Yeah, I'll start with magic missiling this. Hold on. Are there any like ropes holding up like crates or anything like that on the other ship?
Yeah, they're like netted, and they're kind of swinging, and they're hanging at odd angles as the ship is sinking. But yeah, there's like, there's raised cargo.
All right. Well, instead of just clearly magic missiling the skeleton, instead, I'm going to magic missile the rope holding up one of these all this cargo, so it'll drop on the skeleton in a much more dramatic crashing fashion.
Sure. Roll plus magic.
Hey, all right, a 10. Oh, an 11 because I get the +1. This is great. I'm always gonna play to the crowd.
All right. Magic missile it's just your basic attack, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you just describe it to me with a full success. Yeah.
All right. So the skeleton is like who's left on the main deck right now?
I think just Tag and Rex.
Okay. So Rex is just like smashed another one of the skeletons, with a fancy shield move, right? And simultaneously like sliding along the ice, like just so perfectly balanced, like 1 foot on the deck, 1 foot on the rail, and just like the sun rays, because the sun has gone back up, are like reflecting off the water, so she looks like some sort of like Greek goddess, just like standing there, just like so the crowds, like all the skeletons are like, yeah, and this like last skeleton is slid down the deck and is like gonna try to make this, like takes the dagger out of its teeth and flips it around. Is gonna try to pull a Caesar on Rex, and Puck, Sam should be like, you just like shoot this skeleton, but instead the swelling of the crowd makes him aim the staff a little bit higher, fire off this magic missile, and it whizzes out, like twisting and turning through the air like a drunken fairy, and just like splices through this high rope, high up near the mast of the ship, and all these crates just start tumbling down, and like right as the skeleton lifts its dagger up, all the crates crash down and smash the skeleton to pieces, and the dagger flips up in the air, and Rex just puts out her hand, and the dagger lands like right in her hand, as if she knew the whole thing was there, and she's got this dagger ready to go.
Yeah, that is exactly how it happens. And as the final skeleton is smashed down into the hold of the ship, you do hear another gong, and the sinking ship stops sinking, though it does not reverse in its tracks. However, Bryn is still nowhere to be seen. You do see that the captain's door is shaking, as though there's a large dog on the other side digging to get out. Which brings us to Warrior Bryn.
I'm gonna smash the door open so we can get out.
Okay, go for it. Roll kick some ass.
Okay, that I have faith in.
You have a -1 in strength.
Oh shit.
You got away with some stuff today, Missy. 5 is what you rolled?
Yes. With the -1. No, it's a 6. Still a fail.
Okay. You run forward and kick the door over the spider. The door smashes open. You lose your balance and fall onto the spider's back. As it careens out of the room, all of you on deck see a large spider explode out of the captain's quarter, with Bryn hanging onto its back, barely. The spider runs to the edge of the railing and jumps off into the water, taking Bryn with it.
We all kind of look at each other for a moment, trying to figure out which of our questions to ask first. Why was she rodeoing a spider? Where did that spider come from? Was that on? Who was in the advantageous position of that? What? Then we realized that either way, it has gone overboard, and Tag just runs and dives over the side of the ship.
And I'm screaming, I hate spiders! As I'm
Cool.
going over.
When you get down into the water, you can see that Bryn is kicking away from the spider, and now that it has tried to accomplish her hypnosis mission, the spell is broken and it has turned to attack you. The two of you are in the water with the spider. Bryn, what would you like to do?
I would like to slash at its eyes with my Buster Sword.
Okay, roll kick some ass.
What are we, kind of waist deep right now, or are we fully underwater having this?
You guys are underwater.
Yeah.
Did you pull a curse for the last one that you rolled?
No, but there's only one curse left. Let's just do it.
Let's see what it says.
We're putting a curse on top of a curse?
You succeed on the action, but someone else really pays the price. I'm sorry, Tag.
Hey, that's the game. I get it. I like you anyway.
So I succeed at slashing its eyes, but I slash someone else? How does this work?
Tag, what exactly was your plan when jumping over the water? Or jumping into the water?
Oh, classic Tag. No plan. Just trying to be there.
Did you make any preparations, or once you hit the water, have a decision that you were going to make?
I'd really love to tell you yes at this moment, but that would be a lie.
Bryn, how much damage does your Buster Sword deal?
3.
Okay. So, you slash the front of the spider's face, disabling all of its eyes. You can tell that it is blinded, but in the water, that might not be as much of an advantage as it would be on land. Tag, your turn.
Oh, what? Oh, great. Great. This is... Oh, you're making me anxious. Okay. I'm going to just move to flank the spider. So move behind it so that it's in between myself and Bryn. And I'm going to just attack it.
With what?
Clawtooth daggers.
Okay, cool. You fail because this is the price you will be paying for Bryn's success.
But I haven't rolled the...
I know.
I was shaking the dice. When you shake the dice, you then roll the dice. That's what happens. You don't shake the dice and then just put down the dice.
You stab both of these daggers into the spider's back and rupture some kind of poison sacs that are in there. Poison and malice starts filling the immediate water around both you and Bryn. You get blight sickness. Bryn is immune to it. So you now have blight sickness. There's rules to that, I think.
I have a potion to cure that.
Gives -1 to all stats. This is not like Bryn's. It will just drop each of your stats by 1 point.
Wait, all of Bryn's stats are -1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the daytime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Does she get a boost at nighttime?
Yeah.
Cool.
A +3 boost.
They're all +3?
Mm-hmm.
That's so gnarly, girl. I can't wait for you to fight at night.
Yeah, so you are going to take 2 damage, physical and magic, because it's poison. It's almost like an acid that starts... It's just all around you in the water, and you can feel it like burning your eyes and your nostrils, and you take...
Meaning bypassing armor?
If you have... no, not completely. If you have armor... It does... Magic bypasses physical. Physical bypasses magic. So if you have armor that does both, it does not go through.
Unspecified. I have a shadow cloak.
That's just going to be physical.
Okay.
I think Rex is really the only one packing magic armor, and I think Sam's robes do a little bit as well. Yeah, so you take 2 harm as you are starting to, in reaction to this burning, like open your mouth to scream or gasp and then and get more. Thanks, Bryn. Curse for you. But you're clear of curses, right?
I'm clear. Yeah, I've done them all.
Okay.
There's just one
you
death
feel-
curse or something.
Tag, you can barely see it because your eyes are burning, but you do get the sense that this swirl of black energy becomes visible around Bryn for just a moment as it peels away and dissipates into the water. And Bryn, you do feel noticeably different having just expunged all of your curses.
Whew.
Cleric.
Spider, however, is still around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cleric, it's not looking too hot. Your daggers dealt damage. How much damage did they deal?
Depends if you're gonna call it a true backstab or not. If
Yeah,
the
for sure.
blind effect, 4.
Okay. Yeah, the spider is still alive, but the damage, the wound that Tag just inflicted onto its abdomen that ruptured its internal organs seems to have done serious harm to it. Cleric, you are up on the deck of a sinking ship, frozen mid-sink.
and I've just seen them go. Bryn on top of this spider, go flying over the side, and then Tag leap in after her.
Mm-hmm.
I think I run to the side of the boat and I'm about to fling myself in, but I look down and I see that there's like this goo and stuff, and there's lots of thrashing, and it's really difficult to see what's going on, and I don't know that I can be of any help. So I'm just gonna cast shield on Tag because he's the one who looks the most injured currently.
Cool.
Do I have to roll for that? I can just do that, right?
I think you. What does it say? It says shield +1 armor to target from any improvement.
Oh no, I have. No, that's healing where I have to roll.
Yeah, healing you have to roll. No, shield you just do. It burns up one of your scrolls, but you do. Yeah, cool. Brenda, have you leveled up yet? You failed like 19 rolls. You and Sam both.
Whoa.
Probably. 4, 1, 2, 3. I think I failed 4, so I got 1 more left.
Okay. Tag, you feel a membrane of magic materialize around you, and for a moment it traps a thin layer of water and poison inside of it, but that is quickly filtered out through. You are still going to be, if submerged, you will need to surface to breathe, but this shield is now protecting you from those burning effects of the acid, and you have a +1 to armor. It will be for both magical and physical, which is kind of Rex's whole shtick. It's like a divine continuum-based light magic. Wizard, you've just seen the cleric run to the railing at the end, or I think it's like kind of like Spider-Man crawl, and then pull out a scroll and burn it up to cast shield down into the water.
And shield just protects him, yeah?
Yeah, just gives him a little extra armor.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and, although I, want to, of course, be Mr. Fancy Pants and fancy, I'm going to just go ahead and cleanse Tag of the blight sickness.
Cool.
So I
twirl
my ye old staff above my head in a great big circle, creating a luminescent disc of light. And with a 10...
you see this disc. It's like a ring appear around the affected area in the water. And it looks like rain in reverse as this glowing magic pulls all of the toxins out of the water. All of the spiders...
So pretty.
Yeah, it looks very cool and very pretty. All of the spider's venom is drawn out of the water and kind of evaporated and sent away. Tag, you feel that impurity that was sickening you drain out of you as well and burn up in the magic. The spider itself starts to twist and curl. It compacts and compacts and compacts in these scary, jagged movements until it collapses. A quick rift is formed. It is sucked back through, and that closes.
Before the rift closes, I just want to fire off the blunderbuss into the rift.
Okay, you do. You are able to. You see a cloud of bones explode out the front of it, and then in the air reform into the captain's skeleton, who turns around in midair and says, "I guess we'll finish where we left." And he disappears into the rift.
Yes.
What was his name? Daniel
Whiffy.
Gwiffy. Captain. Daniel Gwiffy.
Quit like QU? Oh. I thought you just spelled out Wi-Fi real fancy and sleepy.
I like how Jesse is doubling down on his panic name really aggressively.
You are all able to swim back to your ship and climb up onto the deck to meet Sam. When you are safely out of the danger zone of the sinking ship, You hear from a very crackly, it's like a tinny music, plays this sorrowful song as the sinking motion begins again, and jets and geysers of water pour up as this pour sounds, and the ship sinks all the way into the water. When it finishes, there are loud explosions from the top of the stands where those skeleton butlers are kind of manning the Foley stations, and a rain of confetti comes down over the entirety of the arena, and the crowd is going nuts. You look up to see Slakta in her VIP booth giving you a slow golf clap.
Is it an ironic, condescending slow golf clap? Or I guess I actually don't even know what the other option is for the slow clap.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
Okay, well, it seemed like we succeeded at her task. I don't know why we would have to be subjected to that kind of pedanticism.
Here, I'll do it for you one more time.
No, it's not. It doesn't feel good.
I curtsy.
She nods to you, Warrior Bryn. And we are now going to hear something that I wrote. Okay, yeah. So you have completed the first round of the arena. It is very obvious to you that all you had to do was obtain the treasure chest or the contents within and get them safely back to your ship. The crowd goes wild as the water drains from the arena and your ship sinks back down into the staging area. You hear the roar of a satisfied audience. They are still chanting, "Wizard! Wizard! Wizard!" Danny DeVito is waiting for you on the docks, ready to escort you to the green room. He says, "Hey, I just won a couple bucks. Well done, well done. Hey, I think, depending on how the rest of this situation goes, we could maybe, talk. I might be able to represent you. You could start doing the arena circuit if that interests you, because it should. We'll see. You still got to survive 2 more rounds, but hey, I'm impressed. Anyways, I'm ready to take you back to the green room. They got to reset everything before we begin again. So follow me. That is where we're going to stop for just a moment to take a quick 2-minute break before we pick back up.
See you soon, everybody.
I'm going to wait.
Matt Vansel.
Does it make me magical?
Red card.
Oh, no. No.
So you're out 5 minutes because you said by 5 p.m. Wait, actors are like chili. By 5 p.m. they're shit.
Fair enough. It's a fair cuff.
You in.
The following is a paid advertisement.
You all had the stew?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I need everybody to make an easy constitution check.
Are you kidding?
You all rolled ones. That's okay. It's just stew. They serve it at the inn all day long. No big deal.
She'll be fine. Okay. What? What?
Your entire party dies of dysentery.
Gosh! We have builds that should let us survive that, but our dice betray us. I wish there were a way to show these dice what we really thought of them.
Has this ever happened to you? Your dice just hate you. You've tried everything to get them to roll well.
That's right. You can do this. Just let me know what you need. Massage, bubble bath. You could go on a date after this. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese.
Seducing.
Hey, come on, baby. Don't be like that. We're together. And the mood is right.
Reasoning.
You are a 20-sided die. The odds of rolling a 1 are 1 in 20. Now, the odds of rolling 5 ones in a row are 1 in 3.2 million. Why? Why are you sucking? Stop sucking, please.
Threatening.
Oh, really?
You think I won't do it? I've done it before. I've done it before, and I'll do it to you.
And even dark offerings.
To the gods of blood, I offer you this sacrifice.
Then you need Die.Club, the ultimate in dice retribution services. Here's how it works, and some testimonials.
So the best thing about Die.Club is that they fit the punishment to the crime. For example, my rogue walking down a dungeon corridor. I roll a spot check. I roll a 1. I fail to see the gelatinous cube. I walk into it, get dissolved completely. Oh! Damn you, Die!
All I had to do was jump out of a tree. I had max ranks and tumble. I rolled a 1.
For a long time, I was just angry at the dice. I wanted to punish them, myself. But it's too hard. It hurt my hand. It hurt the tools I was trying to use. I even ate one of the die one time.
I had so many ranks in balance. So many ranks in balance. A suspension bridge over a pit of lava. I failed the roll, obviously a 1.
So, I send my die off to Die.Club. Now my die is sitting in a jello mold in someone's refrigerator in North Carolina. Thanks, Die.Club.
Take the offending die. Place it and seal it in the provided envelope. Mail it off to Die.Club.
I put my die in an envelope and sent it off to Die.Club, and a week later I got its mangled corpse after being put through a wood chipper. Now I have time for my real friends. My Sailor Moon body pillow and I have gotten very close.
It wasn't just the feeling of satisfaction I got knowing that my die had been utterly destroyed. I got back together with my girlfriend. I got the idea to get that bike tire repair kit, and I haven't had a herpes outbreak in 5 months. Who knew how good my life could be thanks to Die.Club?
Thanks to Die.Club, I don't have to put myself in danger to put my dice in danger.
Everyone likes Die.Club.
Thanks, Die.Club. You gave me the vengeance I was looking for. I recommend it for everyone. Die.Club worked for me. And me.
And me.
And me.
Go to Die.Club today. That's Die.Club. Hurry and visit Die.Club. There's nothing like the amazing new Die.Club. In case you missed it, that's Die.Club. Die.Club. It's a club where die. Act now and you'll be able to visit Die.Club. Nothing beats the original Die.Club, the same reliable Die.Club your ancestors used. You too can visit Die.Club and experience the magic that is Die.Club. Die.Club. It's your home for dice-related justice. Knock knock. Who's there? It's Die.Club. Don't forget about Die.Club. That name again is Die.Club, spelled Die.Club, and available only at Die.Club.
I'm probably going to be wearing a colostomy bag the rest of my life.
Brown avocado tastes weird.
Yeah, well, sure.
When it's overripe. Ugh.
It has nothing to do with the well. Just a second, chat. We're having a debate here that's very important because Connor totally gaslighted me last summer about this very thing.
I gaslighted you about a lot of things. This is not one of them.
In my personal opinion, avocados can turn, and when they do, they have a very specific bad taste. But it doesn't always coincide with the way that they look, because I've eaten delicious avocados that are browned. It's just at a certain point they do a thing. It's like a chemical.
They get overripe. They get too soft. It's just really gross. Yes.
Okay. Okay. You're led back into the staging area by Danny DeVito. Was he Danny DeVito or Joe Pesci?
I think it was Danny DeVito because I think it was a call to his satyr character in Hercules.
Got it. Okay. You were led back to the staging area by Danny DeVito, your little green room. It is exactly as you remember it. There are a bunch of weapon racks housing some old weapons, some places for you to sit down and rest. It looks like there's been a couple tubs that have been brought in full of warm water that has some hot coals in them. And there is a small marketplace stall that previously had a sign on it that said back after round 1. But at this little ghost marketplace, you do see Slokta's ghost waiting for you. She has her market available to you should you want to purchase any items before this round. Just to be clear, when you are done here, at your call, you are going to go into round 2, which will be a completely different test. It will be on hard mode, because you failed 3, and your little counter starts all over again. But right now, you will have the opportunity to level up if you need to, Bryn, probably, Sam, maybe, and then do any abilities that you want to do, use any items that you want to use, investigate any items that are unknown to you, or purchase anything from the market. Slokta's Ghost Market has the same menu as always.
So no blood. Damn it.
Slokta, you got anything off menu, if you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, what are you looking for?
Just something to spice it up, you know. What you're offering me a pretty safe array of options here. What if I was trying to get a little funky in round 2, you know? Something a little unexpected, something with a little pizzazz. I'm willing to pay handsomely for it.
Oh?
Pay handsomely, I mean I'm willing to haggle it down to what I feel is a reasonable rate.
I do have a list of secret items that rotates that I'd be willing to give to you, but they come at a steep price. Would you like to see them?
Like our souls, or what do you mean?
I will take a permanent HP point from you for the duration of the next round in exchange for any one of these items, dropping your total harm to 6, which will be reverted the moment you use the item.
Ooh.
But
So-
until then, I get to feel what it's like to be alive.
That's weird. But putting that aside, we're letting you hang on to an HP point of ours.
Mhm.
And
I'm going to suck on it like a Jolly Rancher.
I'd actually really prefer you not go into details about how you're using the HP point. I don't even know sort of biochemically how you would do that. Suck on it like a Jolly Rancher?
Like a
did you say?
Jolly Rancher.
Fuck that, you get weirder and weirder. It's like at the beginning, it's like on a first date, you kind of tried to play it cool and really hide a lot of these characteristics, and now you have moved in. You know we can't really get out of it, so you're letting it.
Well, I'll tell you, as a ghost of a necromancer, I have to keep my guard up. But the more we hang out, I just feel like we're close, and I could show you the real me.
Slokta, we don't dislike you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe you're at the point where, forgive me, but I just wonder if you are acting out because perhaps as a necromancer in your life, maybe in your younger life, you were made fun of, you were bullied, you were ridiculed for things that you didn't understand, things about yourself that you couldn't identify, didn't know why it would be cause for someone else to mock. And so you're now acting out in order to create something that you can point to and say, see, that must be why they're laughing at me. They're laughing at me because of something I have control over, which is much easier to deal with than the idea of someone laughing at you because of who you are. But I think I speak for all of us when I say, you don't need to do that. We're ready to accept you as the ghost of a necromancer you are.
This is wonderful advice, and I wish somebody would have given it to me before I died 1,000 years ago and turned into a ghost, and it doesn't matter anymore. You trying to give me some HP or what, baby?
Yeah, I'll give you an HP point. You suck on like a dog.
Slagta slams a ghost fist on the counter, and it slides right through. And she says, "Gotcha!" And then fiddles around inside the cart, and the facade of the ghost market where the sign is, flops down. And you can see that there are 3 items inside. There is a white orb, which reminds you of the grenade-like item that you found before. It has a golden X on it and a button rather than a pin. There is also a cape that seems to be made out of air. And there are some shoes which have what look like octopus tentacle suckers on the bottom of them. Not the tentacles, just the suckers. Now, Slagta says, so, the first item that you buy from me only costs you 1 HP. And like I said, you'll get that back after you use the item. But the second item costs 2. And the third costs 3. Now, personally, I prefer that the same person buys all 3. But you might find that will kill you. So, I will leave it up to you.
You're saying as a group, the first, second, and third items cost that much more?
The price stacks no matter who buys it.
Okay.
What do these things do exactly?
The first one is a Continuum Grenade. It has the ability to act much like the spell Cleanse, only with an uptick to the damage it deals to blighted enemies. It will also blind anyone that is within its blast radius, living or dead. The Air Cape will let you jump great distances without any dex check necessary. And I know what you're thinking, Slagta, what's a dex check? But I'm an otherworldly spirit and have the ability to look into the meta of this universe which we inhabit. These things mean nothing to you. You think you're unique butterflies who can just run faster and jump better. But this thing allows you to clear great distances. In other words, it will allow you to get to any enemy on the battlefield, no matter where they are, without a dex check. You may use this once before it needs to recharge.
What if the enemy is our own lack of self-confidence?
I would recommend not spending an HP point on the Air Cape.
Oh, so we should get the Tentacle Shoes.
Yes. Those do exactly what you probably think they do. They let you walk anywhere you want to. What's crazy is the suckers let you go up onto the walls and the ceilings, which I realize you freaky humans can't do very often. But they are coated in a special kind of magic, which will allow you to walk on water, lava, poison, wherever you want to go, you can walk. At the end of your action, when you've reached a safe place, the shoes will disappear. Same with the cape. When you've made it to your destination, it will disappear. It is not a two-way ticket. Cleanse Grenade. Air Cape. Sucker Sneakers. What tickles your fancy, my little piglets?
Your salesmanship is just so wanting. It's just...
She swipes up the Air Cape and dangles it around and says, "What? These things sell themselves."
Yeah, well, that would be... Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to unpack all of that with you right now. Why don't... Yeah. You did a really good job. You did a really good job of presenting these items.
I'm excited to buy some.
Why don't I... Well, Tag, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to try to identify the items that we did find already and see what we're working with.
Sure. The grenade is in
this awkward predicament where he actually doesn't really want one of these items, but after all of those spiels, it does feel like stitched into the act of buying the items is the act of validating Slagta for who she really is. And so Tag is going to give her an HP to suck on like a Jolly Rancher.
Whoa, Tag. I mean, you absolutely can, by all means, do whatever you wish.
Right.
But in the same way, do you really want to link your validation of Slokta to her occupation instead of to her own intrinsic self-worth? Don't you feel like if your true desire is to support Slokta as a, albeit emo, but long dead, spectral necromancer, don't you think maybe it's more of like a tag to Slokta level that might offer that validation?
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, Sam, and I think that that's true, and I want to challenge myself to look for those opportunities to lift her up as she is. But at the same time, I can't help thinking she has been dead for thousands of years. She's made a choice to bond her eternal undead timeline to this act of merchant ship, to this sort of commercial venture, and therefore it does seem like she has chosen to stitch herself into her own little shop of goods, and I want to validate that choice.
Okay, well then, running with that, might I implore you to consider the following? Do you know about buyer's remorse?
Oh,
I'll take the sticky shoes.
Excellent. Slokta levitates the sticky shoes towards you. They immediately attach to your feet. And you get this sense that they kind of like open, the heel like opens and like gloms over you like a membrane. And you get the sense that you will be able to just decide when to activate them. There will be no danger of it happening accidentally, probably. And then it will happen. But with that realization, you do feel a draining of your entire essence. This HP, which to us is just a mark on the papers that we're using, to Rex is 1/7 of her entire being. And that encompasses everything about you, every single one of your stats. It will not actually be a penalty on anything other than your HP, but that feeling comes, it hits you in the brain, the body, the magic, everywhere. And it turns into a small green rectangle that you might think looks like the blight magic. But Slokta levitates it back and it slides into her mouth and she goes, sour apple! And you can actually see her essence kind of heighten. Tastes like
much creepier than I thought it was going to be.
newborn star. Who's next? 2 HP for the next one, suckers. I mean, customers.
Look, if I don't get some blood real quick, I'm already going to be in a -1, so I can't get anything. I can't afford it.
Bryn, what?
Yeah, if I don't eat every day that I don't eat, my hit points go down by 1.
How much time do you have?
It'll be the beginning of the next day, mechanically. So it's nearing sunset now.
I was asking Bryn.
Feel free to answer in character, Bryn.
Yeah. What? Well, I would have eaten someone on the ship, but they were all skeletons, so
You did see that the crowd was human.
The crowd was human?
As was the Emperor Slokta.
As is Danny DeVito.
As is Danny DeVito.
I look at Danny DeVito.
Huh?
Don't you drink Danny DeVito?
Just a little suckle. Just a little tip.
What did you say, Bryn?
Just teeny bit.
Just a bit.
Danny DeVito's like kind of looking at his like betting slips over by the front door, and he looks up and he says, "Hey, you guys gabbing about me? What's the action? Huh? What's the action? What's the action?"
Does he have shorts on?
He does. He's wearing like board shorts.
Really meaty calves.
Done.
No, he's got nice calves. I mean, he's got like a big old pot belly, but he's got nice calves, and he's wearing like board shorts and some like Timberland boots that are undone. Like, very Adam Sandler, like Billy Madison
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get closer to his calf.
You're gonna sneak up and try and bite Danny DeVito?
I don't know, but I'm gonna stare at his calf real hard.
Okay. He says,
move, hey, here we are. What? Who knows?
I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Excuse me.
Yeah,
would it be
what's
okay
up?
if I bit your calf?"
Kinda. What are you talking about?
Just a little bite. Just a little bit.
He looks over your shoulder at the rest of your party, which I assume are just staring at you, and he says, "You want to do it in front of your friends, or what? What are you talking about?
I mean, we could go over in the corner if you like.
Like you bite my calf, I bite your calf?
No. I just bite your calf, and then I walk away.
Yeah." It's clear that he is not sure what the fuck you're talking about, so he's gonna go with this. You guys go over to the corner. There's like some fabric dividers that are there, and
Jesus.
you're where you imagine challengers are able to change into their armor. And he says, "So, what's up? How you doing?"
I'm just like, just a second, and then I get on the ground and I bite his calf.
Roll charisma first to see how it goes for you to get down to the level of his calf with him thinking that you guys are on the same page here.
Is it nighttime or am I
No,
still...
it's not. You don't get that bonus, and I'm going to extend it even longer because we
God
both
damn it.
cheated earlier.
That's a 7.
Okay. You get down to his calf, and he's into it, and he still is pretty confused. He almost said yes, just kind of like on impulse, because he's like maybe down to make out or whatever, but he also was like in between rounds, and so are you, and you're covered in seawater, and your friends are in here, so he's like, "This is crazy, right? What are we doing? Are we doing this?" When you get down there to bite him, he does notice your fangs. So how would you like to proceed? If you would just like to go through with it, it will be an attack roll. If you want to talk to him or convince him, that would be something else. If you just want to bite him, you're just going to roll for it. You will probably be able to just bite him.
Can I hypnotize him?
Yes, but this is going to institute what we are going to refer to as the 3 hypnotize rule. It's going to have 3 charges, which you can use once. You recharge all vampire powers. Turn into Mist will also have 3 charges. You recharge all vampire powers whenever you feed.
Okay.
So roll hypnotize. Hypnosis.
It's just at a -1. Fuck. 5.
Yeah, okay. So not only does it not work, but you again are snapped into that vision, and you get the sense that every time you're tapping into these vampire powers, Half-Dad is just kind of lurking there waiting for you, and he's swinging that little stopwatch again. And he says, "How interesting, Bryn. You know, I think I have everything I need to get the door open, so I suppose I'll just want to watch you squirm." When the vision snaps out, you must roll some ass, and you are going to try to feed on Danny DeVito.
Okay.
Roll kick some ass.
Okay, that's an 8.
Cool. So you sink your teeth into Danny DeVito's leg and start drinking his blood. And it feels perfect and right. And it finally quenches your thirst. All of your vampire abilities are recharged. And he starts to scream and try to fight you off. He punches you in the side of the head. You take 2 harm physical, but you are unable to
What?
Did Jesse just freeze? Oh no.
Yes, and Connor.
Oh no.
Dice by half dad.
Oh, he's back.
What?
I guess everything you said after he starts to scream. You
Am I
froze.
still? Did I freeze?
You did. You're back.
I lost everybody.
Okay. So you all hear Danny DeVito start howling, and Bryn and he tumble through those fabric dividers and rip them, and they're now scuffling and rolling around on the floor. And Slokta looks at you guys and says, I know the feeling.
Oh, Slokta.
When this was first happening, it was kind of silly and kind of funny because it had that awkward where sort of it looks like it could be mistaken for flirting. And we, just have such trust and love for Bryn and what those natural boundaries of her kindness and generosity, empathy towards people and desire to help people are. So it was just all kind of like a little bit silly. And we were giggling about it to ourselves as she went off. And as they tumble through this fabric again, I think we see the reality, which is that there's what looks like a huge, huge bloody gash in Danny DeVito's leg. It's, it looks like he got into a really serious accident. You can kind of see the yellow underneath his skin, and there's blood everywhere, and there's blood coming out of her mouth, and he's doing that scream, which we so rarely hear in life, which is a scream of someone genuinely fearing for their life and thinking that they are in trouble. The kind of scream that says they do not at all care about how they sound. There's a kind of desperation in that. And I think that wakes Tag up, and he just hustles over there, sort of the color draining out of his face as he realizes how not cute and not funny the situation is, and tries to pull him apart.
Okay. It'll just be a strength contest, I think, between you and Bryn.
Okay. 7.
You want me to roll strength?
Yes. And you are still at a -1.
7. No.
Okay. Okay. You are unable to. Bryn is like a wild animal right now, and she actually just stiff arms you away, Tag. And I think in this fear and confusion and reality check, you lose your footing for just a moment. She plows past you and lunges at Danny DeVito. Bryn, roll kick some ass again.
10.
She sinks her teeth into his neck, hitting the jugular. There is like a George Romero spray of blood as she now begins feasting in earnest on this dude.
Shit!
And you can see his color draining quickly. The scream kind of sputters out as he's losing strength. Bryn, you can feel this rush of power, and you know that you are reaching a moment in which you will either need to decide to end him or turn him.
Is there anything we can do before it gets to that point?
You will not be able to get to... You
What if
can
I throw my shield.
throw your shield, roll kick some ass.
I'm trying to hit Bryn. Oh god!
Decapitates Danny DeVito.
No!
Oh, wow. You throw your shield, and it hits Tag and does 2 harm, physical and magic.
2 harm?
Yeah.
I'm hurting y'all.
And he was already stumbling back, and he flops onto the ground, and your shield clangs away and rolls. You are now unarmed. Wizard, would you like to do anything?
Yes.
Bryn is draining Danny DeVito very quickly.
I'm going to run over and I'm going to try the old magic hat trick. So I'm going to take off my hat and try to basically scoop it down over Bryn so it like enlarges like a big body condom to like put her in a sleeping bag. Just like, whoop!
I think because your gear, your hat and robes are these moon and star robes that are enchanted and provide armor. I will allow you to roll plus magic to have them change shape. Just know that you are putting them on the line because you don't actually have a move to encompass this. What you're doing is the currency for this becomes the gear that you are using.
Right.
So if you roll high, it's just going to work. If you roll low, something could happen to your gear.
And I'm totally okay with expending a spell charge to try to expand the boundaries of the normal material.
Oh, yeah, cool. You can roll first and then use that second because it just bumps you up to another level. I'm basically like saying like you can min-max this and save your charges.
Okay.
If you roll a full success, you don't need it.
As I run over, Haberdasher.
Oh.
Hat salesman. Hey, that's a 10.
Okay, you scoop your hat over Bryn's head, and it enlarges and turns into a sleeping bag without a zipper, and you're able to get that in between her mouth and Danny DeVito, and then further wrap her up. She is now in a sleeping bag. We're going to take one of those moments outside of the moment as players to kind of go into bullet time and just audit the room. Okay? Bryn is incapacitated, for lack of a better word. She is stuck inside this hat. Bryn, until the situation is resolved, you know you still need to either drain him all the way or turn him. So that will dictate your actions. Rex.
That's an urge that she feels, or that's how vampirism works. He is at this point either going to die or turn.
When Bryn rolls failures on hypnosis twice so far, Half-Dad has intervened. Something is happening now that she is potentially just more prone to these dark acts. He has been interfering with your party in a way in which he's kind of given up on trying to convert you, Tag, and he is starting to make moves to turn your partners against you. With the chaos that Bryn was facing with her curse after dying, opening her up to these things, and now becoming a vampire, it seems as though he's targeting her. So this is a direct effect of her rolling a failure on a hypnosis spell and having the effect be counteracted through his desire. So,
but relevantly, we can try to intervene. It's not like his fate is doomed because of the nature and rules of this world. It is a specific malice-based thing that is happening to Bryn.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Bryn is in a position where it's like she's in thrall, so she will be unable to resolve it herself, but you will all be able to use whatever means you'd like to try and stop it. Cleric, what is your current harm? How much HP do you have left?
I had not yet healed, so I think I'm at 4.
Okay. If you take one more, you will become unstable. Wizard, what is your current HP?
I've taken no damage.
Okay. And then Tag, I think, is doing poorly. Okay, so I think what we see is that Danny DeVito is lying on the ground. There's a strange rasping and gurgling noise coming from him. He's incredibly pale and he's no longer struggling. Bryn is thrashing to get out of this trap that has been thrown over her. Tag, what is your current HP? And you're on mute.
I've taken 4 harm.
Okay, so you are unstable. And I think that the way in which that is manifesting is you're feeling a little concussed, having gotten hit in the head with a shield. So you're a little bit slow on the uptick. So right now we're looking at a thrashing Bryn in a bag. Everybody's a little hurt except for Sam. And Danny DeVito seems to be on the edge of his situation. We don't need to be an initiative. I will allow you guys to decide what to do next.
Rex, how close are you to leveling up?
Not super close.
Still? Don't you ever fail? All you do is succeed.
Yeah, I failed the roll that would have like knocked Bryn out before she started to feast on this poor guy. But I think Rex's first instinct is just to tend to the wounded as a cleric, and not knowing and really about how vampirism works. I think her first instinct would just to try and cast heal and straight out heal him.
Sure. Roll it.
Let's see if Casey jinxed you.
I've been rolling hot. I've been hot ever since the crowd started getting me juiced up.
Do I add anything to my spell rolls?
Before you roll those dice, let's just talk mechanics.
Okay, it's +2 magic, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. What is your current HP?
4.
Okay. Just read what happens on a failure.
The harm is transferred to the caster.
Specifically, how much harm?
All of it.
Okay. Cool.
Is Rex about to die?
I fucking hope not, because I had not planned for any of this.
What?
I'm afraid.
I missed some of that, so I'm a little confused.
Here we go. Oh, thank the Lord. That's a 10.
Okay, so Danny DeVito is healed 2 and stabilized. What that means mechanically right now is he is technically at 3 HP, but because you also stabilize him, he will also be stabilized. You see the wound on his neck close and just a small amount of color return to his skin. He still looks like he is unable to speak or move, and he is laying there kind of catatonic on the ground, but no longer in danger of dying.
Hey man, you got into a bad situation. You got into a bad little mix-up right there, but you're okay. Hey, Danny.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
You're okay. Nothing to worry about. You're healthy. Well, you're not dying. You won't be dead. I am horrible at these speeches. I'm trying to it's cool, bro.
He raises a shaky thumb. He seems to kind of just not be with it necessarily. Bryn, you are still stuck in a magically enlarged hat, and you still have the desire to either destroy or turn Danny DeVito.
So, but I'm stuck in a hat.
You're stuck in a hat.
Do you want me to figure out how I get out of said hat?
Yes.
Can I turn into mist and float out of it?
Are you a vampire? Okay.
Stop vampire right now.
Remember, track these. You will not get your charges back until you feed again. So you have 3 mists, 3 hypnotize.
Okay.
You are now down 1 mist.
Down 1 mist. I also leveled up.
You also just leveled up? What are you taking?
I don't know. It's not in front of me.
Okay, you don't have to choose at this moment.
Okay.
So everybody sees as Tag's trying to reassure Danny DeVito, everybody sees the thrashing in the hat stop. And then the hat deflates, and a white vapor ekes out of it. Wizard.
Crafty, a wizarding duel it is. I'm going to are there any are any of Slocta's items in jars?
Yeah. I would say several of them, probably.
Like, does she have like a jar of herbs or anything like that?
Big old mason jar?
Yeah, definitely. Several of the supply bundles have that very thing. The antitoxin, unlike the cool branded HP potions, the like diet surge HP potions. The antitoxin seems to be homemade, like moonshine, and is just in mason jars. Yeah, so there's a couple jars.
Is there anything that would, like, this is so absurd, but like fishbowl size? Is there any way, or are they all like Trin's drinking mason jars? Like,
Hold that up, Trin. They're all about that size.
Okay.
Hey, who knows what her volume as mist
you can put a lot of liquid in these things.
A lot.
Okay, then. I'm going to snatch one of the jars.
Okay.
And
Slachta says, what are you purchasing?
Try before you buy?
No.
How much for a jar?
I'll sell you a bundle of supplies for 5 gold.
You highway robbery! Okay, what else do I have?
You did get tossed that treasure sack that had 20 gold from the pirate mission. Tag successfully threw you that.
All right, I slammed 5 gold down.
Here's your bundle of supply. Spend 1 charge to get a jar out of it.
Yeah, grab the jar, twist off the lid, and then try to do a big like scooping dash to scoop up like a big handful of Bryn's mist into this jar.
Okay. I think this is really just going to be a dex roll, you know?
But
here's what's up. You're spending a charge of supply. So you do have 2 left on this, but that gives you a +1 and the jar.
Okay.
How is he containing me in there if I can move through walls?
He just bought this jar from a necromancer, so assumedly some funky shit's going on.
Okay. I could buy it.
I used to store haunted tadpoles in there.
Slachta, read the room.
Wait, do I get plus
you get a
one?
+1.
That's a 7.
Cool. I'm actually going to use mine to take it down to a 6. You definitely get this jar full of mist and slap the lid on top, but it's not all of the mist.
Okay. Well, since it's a fail, I do level up.
Cool. It happens immediately. All of your spells are recharged, and you get to choose something from the list. I think that takes us back to Bryn. Bryn, you don't feel right. You're not sure why. Huh? Tag. Sorry, that's right. I think all you've done is talk to Danny DeVito. So yes, would you like to take an action?
Yes, I'd like to hold my action because it's gonna, I think, probably relate to Bryn. So I'd like to see where she's at when she presumably attempts to re-manifest herself.
Cool. Bryn, you don't feel quite right, but you can't tell why. You are still in mist form. You can see the room, but it's in like that, it's like in a blue tint, you know? It looks like you're underwater. What would you like to do?
In a panic, I'm going to turn back to human form.
Cool. You're human form. What would you like to do?
In human form, I mean...
Vampire form.
Okay.
Oh, so I'm not stuck in a jar.
Would you like to take stock of your situation?
Yes, please.
Cool. Your left hand is in the jar. Your arm ends in a clean, non-wounded kind of just termination at the wrist. Sam, you are holding a jar that has Bryn's hand in it, and it is, as soon as she's like looking at it the way that you'd expect it to react, it is like touching the glass now, like getting a sense of its space.
I'd like that back, please.
No more eating people.
Well, I don't have much of a choice, do I? And I asked him, and he said yes.
That was not upfront consensual.
I said, can I bite your calf? And he said yes.
Yeah, he
you
thought.
were biting his neck. That was, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Good points all around.
Bryn, you do get the sense that in order to turn him, you will need to put your blood in his mouth as kind of a ritualistic gesture. And you are still compelled to either do that or finish your meal.
I'm not gonna kill him. I don't want to kill him. I don't want to kill anybody. So I think the only thing I can do is turn him.
It's like this instinctual knowledge that you have,
Yeah.
as part of your power.
Yeah, I don't want to kill anybody. So I'm just gonna make him like me. And
Do you say this out loud, or is this Bryn's inner monologue?
this is my inner monologue that I'm trying to tell Tag, but then I realize we can't talk telepathically here. So I'm just wiggling my eyebrows a lot.
Okay, I interpret that as her trying to bite my calf. When Bryn remanifests and is wiggling her eyebrows and starts to presumably move towards Danny DeVito to complete this, I think at this point Tag has gotten the sense that this is not Bryn acting. It was when Rex brought up, but what about biting his neck? And she just, wow, I don't know what happened there. I think that it clicked off something. This feels like more than mere vampirism. You can just kind of, at least it's my experience with family, that you just can kind of smell them. You can smell what they've had their fingers in. You can just smell where they're exerting their influence. And I think Tag has that. There is some, that Half-Dad's got his fingers in this pie in one way or another. So instead of trying to physically stop her as Bryn moves towards Danny, Tag is just going to kind of close his eyes, and I know that he's in rogue form, but I suspect that connection to the malice is consistently grounding fundamental to his character, no matter what form he takes. And I essentially think Tag is trying to do a little bit of self-sacrifice here, that he sees that the malice gave up on him a little bit and is tugging at and manipulating Bryn, so he just wants to sort of open himself a little to that, kind of like putting some blood in the water when a shark is going after your friend, and see if that window is tempting enough for that malicious influence to turn towards him instead of Bryn.
The little video game world that you've been in glitches for a second and freezes, and you are presented, much like Bryn has been, with a vision of Half-Dad. And he says, excellent. The screw has been tightening, has it not, my boy?
I don't appreciate you getting in my friends' heads like that.
I know that you're not going to like it, but it is your fault.
I don't like that. You're correct, but that's also such a shitty way to not take responsibility for what's happening. I know that you don't care about Bryn. I know that you don't care about Danny. I know that you don't care about me beyond my function in your plan, but you are an actor in this. At least have the courage to stand in front of me and talk about the truth.
It's difficult for me to communicate the scale at which I am forced to conceptualize your realm. You have weight there. You've brought some of me to them. I recognize you. The others, though I feign interest or whatever, I don't apologize to ants when I kick over the hill.
Look, I'm not asking you to apologize. No one is interested in you making this grandstanding, sinister bad guy speech that we've all heard a million times about your inflated sense of grandiosity and, by contrast, everyone else's minuscule function in the world. All I'm saying is pick on somebody your own size.
Okay. I just want to say for a moment that often when I'm making these grandiose speeches, I'm complimentary to you. It'd be nice to get a thank you every once in a while.
No, I'm not going to thank you for your backhanded, passive-aggressive attempts to manipulate me by positioning yourself in my friends' brains and hearts and then saying they are so insignificant that you don't even consider it consequential what you're doing. It matters to me, therefore it should matter to you. You dick.
Fair. I'll make you a deal. Unfortunately, while I am waiting in the wings, your summoner friend keeps appearing on my doorstep. I can't promise I won't welcome her when she does. However, this one instance, if you would like to exchange a favor to me, I will release the current thrall on Bryn to save your little satyr friend.
Okay.
Okay. I wasn't expecting this boon, so you'll have to forgive me. May I reach back out to you before you enter into the second round of your current endeavor?
Yeah, but no wishing for more wishes, no classic loophole bullshit. Okay, I'm offering you an equitable exchange.
Yes, and I blew this one on making Bryn squirm, so the equal ask of you will be of that caliber. I won't ask you to betray all of your friends, but I will have something fun that I will enjoy watching you flail during.
Sure. You know, there's really no consistency to your pettiness. Sometimes we are ants beneath you, and sometimes you're going to get some sort of pleasure from watching me squirm in the face of a request. It just really pokes a couple holes in your I'm here to change existence argument.
Every once in a while, I'm traipsing through a meadow and I kick over a small mound of dust. But every other once in a while, I find a magnifying glass in my pocket and I like to go and see what I can accomplish with it.
Okay.
I'll be back when I figure out whatever it is that I want to ask of you. For now, Bryn, I was immediately dropped from you. Your friend is free. That does not remove the original hypnosis request that he made about opening the door. It will just remove your fervor to turn or kill Danny DeVito. You are now free from that. Tag, you will be contacted by Half-Dad before you enter into round 2, and unless you agree to whatever he asks, Bryn's problem will re-arise.
Understood.
Where's my hand?
It's like waving to you from Sam's jar.
What? Can I have it back?
Yeah. Are you all done with the eating people?
And then I touch, and I'm like, oh my god.
You're
oh my god.
In blood.
Oh my god. And then I see Danny DeVito, and I'm like, oh my god. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I'm sorry. Is he okay? Is he dead? Is he dead?
He's not dead. He's not dead. And you can have your hand back.
Thanks.
Yeah. I unscrewed the lid.
Oh, God.
It's the glass. Once you unscrew the lid, everything that this glass had was containing a vampire in mist form. The glass just disperses. You are down a charge in your supply kit, but Bryn is able to just kind of like re-mist her arm and hand, and they swirl back together and come back into regular form.
I walk over to Danny DeVito and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I take out my health potion and I just like dribble it all over him.
Okay, he heals 2 more harm, which brings him back up to 5. So he's actually looking pretty good. A lot of the color has returned. He gets his wits about him and kind of looks up at you and says, you got something. Oh my God. Oh, and he scoots back away up against the wall and he starts trying to like hammer on the door. Let me out of here. Let me out. Okay, let me out.
No. It's okay. I'm sorry.
The guards outside the door open the door and he runs out and slams it shut behind him. And now you are alone in the dressing room.
Does anybody have a wet wipe?
Slokta from behind you raises a spectral hand and says, "I've got several, and any of these packs of supplies only will cost you 5 gold."
No, you can have. I've got a quilty, moist towel. And I take out the second charge from my supply kit and offer it to Bryn.
That one won't cost you. You still get 2 charges from that supply kit. You had to pay for it in the middle of a very tense situation, so you can have a free wet wipe.
I wipe my face. I don't even know if it's doing any good, but I'm wiping it.
Yeah, you're cleaning yourself off.
Don't forget your teeth. You got a little. Yeah, there you go.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right there.
Yeah.
Bryn, if you had suffered any harm, you are fully healed from feeding.
Okay. I did not, because I had 2 physical harm, but I have 2 physical armor, so I'm good.
Tag's been, standing back a bit from this since he went into chat in his head with Half Dead, and I think the urgency of the situation dropping, Bryn coming back, all of the pressure sort of subsiding, and the fact that he is unstable, he then just drops to the floor. Still conscious, but he's on the ground.
Okay. We got a prone Tag.
Oh.
I think the cleric rushes over and props his head off and says, "I'm all out of charges. Does anyone have a healing potion?"
Oh no! I used my only one on.
Yeah, I give
Danny
it the one from the treasure chest.
Sure. Tag, you heal 2 harm. If that puts you back up, you are stabilized.
Yeah.
I have this orb too, and I pull up the magical orb, and I just look at Sam, and I'm like, I found this in the ship. It was in the desk of Captain Quiffy. What the hell is his name? I thought I got it right.
It's not you we're laughing at. It's just
Okay, I got it right.
It was
Anyways,
a miss on the name.
it was cursed, so everything that was in the desk sort of folded in on itself. But I think there might be something good in it if you're able to break the curse.
I will examine it.
Yeah, it's just a magical trap has been sprung. So anything along the lines of counterspell, dispel, anything like that's gonna do it for you.
I will counterspell it.
Okay. It turns back into a desk drawer. And inside, there is 1 more healing potion, a spell crystal, and 5 gold.
Okay.
Very
nice.
Do that one more time. I'm just going to write this down. I'm kind of just making a list of group supplies.
Sure. 1 health potion, 1 spell crystal, which recharges 2 spells, and 5 gold. Slocta says, "Now, normally that little satyr of a man would be the one delivering this information, but I can tell that round 2 will begin soon. If you're going to buy anything else from my store, wink, or heal, or whatever you mortals do." Oh, sorry. She slides the Jolly Rancher back over to the other side of her mouth. Then now would be the time, because I have a feeling they'll be coming to get you soon.
Could I have one of those spell crystals?
Yes, that will cost you 10 gold.
Oh,
sorry, Slocta. I understand the confusion. I was speaking to the rest of the group. I thought, I'm actually out of gold at the moment.
Oh, well then I'm no longer interested in speaking with you.
Jesse, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How would you feel about me using my level up to take sort of a expansion of the magic abilities of my hat?
Love it.
I have a lot of attack spells, and I thought it might be cool that if instead of expending charges on just magic missile, maybe I could use the hat for non-violent magical acts. just because it seems like it might. I would like to be able to interact with the world in non-violent ways as well.
Sure. Let's consider it like an abstract magical supply, so that it's a little bit of a polymorph ability for the hat. It will have 3 charges to do whatever you need it to in the moment. You will then have to roll, and the success or failure will determine what happens. But it will no longer make your gear susceptible to be destroyed, which is what could have happened to the hat before. Now, if you expend all 3 charges, you lose your bonus to armor from your gear. Cool. And then once you have at least 1 charge, you get that armor back.
Okay.
As the way that I'd see it. So if you want to do stuff like you just did, your hat will be able to do that. I think that's a cool ability.
Cool. Yeah, it just seemed like, I was like, oh, making doves appear is not as effective as Fireball, but man, crowds love the doves.
And if you're using a hat charge to do something like doves, we'll make sure that it has some noticeable boon. Even if it's just applying a +1 to some skill, it could also be used to like make an enemy lose a turn or some shit like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because you only get 3 charges, so we'll try and make them worth it.
Sweet.
Any other healing leveling up that needs to happen?
Can I trade an anti-poison for a healing potion?
Sweeten the deal.
Well, if I could have one of those spell charge thingies, I could then heal you and myself.
So Rex, you weren't around for this. I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff out of a treasure chest down there. So we got 2 spell crystals. As far as I'm concerned, they belong to the group. Take whatever you need.
I will take a spell crystal.
All right. Are you cracking into it now?
Yeah, I think so, because both Lisa and I need healing.
Sure.
Oh, no, I don't need healing right now, but I was just thinking ahead.
Oh, smart. Well, I need healing right now.
Yes, use it on yourself.
So the antitoxin, you can do your healing there, Rex. When you heal yourself, there's no risk of failure.
Oh, okay. Well, I succeeded anyway.
Okay. If you're healing yourself in battle, that'll be slightly different.
Okay.
Let me just look at one damn thing.
Don't we have an unidentified vial?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a couple unidentified things. Okay, here's the deal, warrior woman.
Huh?
You throw in 3 gold with that antitoxin, and I'll give you an HP potion.
Can I give you a doorknob? I have 1 left. Okay.
And we'll take the 2 gold change from the doorknob, Slocta.
You got it.
Wait, that antitoxin might be really helpful later on.
It just cures blight sickness, and a couple of you cats can do that.
We could just trade it for the doorknob if you want.
Yeah, you could just buy an health potion and keep your antitoxin. Do that. You get a health potion. You don't have a doorknob anymore.
Someone else can take the anti-poison. I don't want it.
I've just added a group items thing, so I'm just tracking the stuff down here. If you do something, I'll try to track it. But yeah, just let me know.
Is there any other healing or any other shopping that you want to do before we proceed?
I'm down 2, but I kind of, Tag likes living a bit on the edge.
No, don't do that.
What do these healing potions do? They heal too?
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll use one.
Okay, cool. I will also allow Sam to identify the other weapons that you have.
Yes.
Weapons, you say?
The Woozy Blade.
There was a grenade that you picked up. It is a napalm grenade. It functions the same as Fireball, except to use it, you roll Dex instead of magic.
Go ahead and let you hold on to that one, Tago.
And then you also had the Woozy knife.
Yeah.
Sleepy blade.
It looks as though it is a cursed item. You get the impression that you won't know exactly what it does until you use it, but it looks powerful and has something to do with lifesteal.
Yes.
But because it is cursed, not enchanted, you have to use it to find the full extent of its power, because that's cursed items bait, right? Because nobody wants to use a cursed item, especially if they know exactly what it does. Cursed items have to tempt you into using them. So you can tell it's powerful and it deals with lifesteal, but you don't know exactly what it's going to do.
It's like Spectrum Semper written in the margins of the Half-Blood Prince's potions book.
Yes.
Hey, Danny, we need you. Danny?
He just slides one of those things open and he says, I ain't ever coming back in there again, all right? What do you want?
Okay, take some time to... It was going to be experimental, the request, but take some time to, think about what happened. Take stock of how you're actually doing. And how much you stand to make sticking by our side, and see if you really want to stand by that.
What a weird pep talk.
That's not a pep talk. I'm just saying you're angry, man. I get it, but as far as it looks for me, you're doing fine. You had a fun ride, and you still got this money boat just waiting for you to jump on so we can leave the dock.
He slides the thing closed. The door does creak open and he steps in, closing the door right behind him. He keeps his hand on the knob and says, "Don't anybody get close to me." What?
No, nothing. Sorry, nothing. Just, don't rush to judgment.
Yeah, and I can't do anything unless you say it's okay. So just say no to me next time.
Victim blaming to a whole new level.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all right, because that's how that whole situation went down. Okay, got it.
Sorry, I don't even really remember.
Okay.
Someone took over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. He tells you that the second round is about to begin, and he is ready to escort you to the staging area, proper, not the green room. Is there anything else you want to do before you leave?
Yeah, what's our vial of liquid?
Oh, it is poison. So it will be applied to, it takes an action, so I would recommend doing it outside of combat. It can be applied to any melee weapon, and it will deal an additional 3 poison damage on top of whatever you're already dealing. It is a single dose. You can miss if you roll a failure on an attack. So if it's on an arrow and you miss, you're probably going to lose it. If it's on a sword, you can swing again.
Okay. I would like to take my level up.
Track that. Yeah, what are you leveling?
I'm just going to add to Dex. +1.
Cool. All right, everybody else cool?
I feel like we need to have a talk with Bryn at some point, but maybe now is not that moment.
Yeah, maybe somebody should fail more so she can cure Bryn.
I did level up. I leveled up last game, and I talked to her about curing her, and she was like, "Ah."
I thought you said you could cure jaundice.
If you can,
I don't know if it's gonna work. I've never used it before.
We need to handle this. We need it because.
Well, go for it. Today couldn't get any worse.
Seems like there are a couple
true. What did you say, Tag?
I think there are probably a couple of conversations happening right now. One is about sort of what happened just there with Danny, which I think put a bad taste in all of our mouths.
Still in the room.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm advocating for you, man.
Sure. Yeah, just kind of weird.
I said I'm advocating for you, man, okay?
And I said, sure.
Fuck Danny.
Yeah.
Danny. Fuck Danny.
Look, Danny, we're very, very sorry about what happened to you. That it was never in the realm of anything that we had envisioned happening to you, and we're very sorry.
He doesn't say anything. His hand is still on the doorknob.
The other is this vampirism thing. Bryn, I'm not your parent. I'm not your guardian. I can't tell you what to do, but this shit is dangerous, and it's making you do things that I don't think you want to do.
Then get rid of it. I don't know how to get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Okay, I can try.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I just learned this one. Okay, so it's a counterclockwise motion and then a clockwise motion and then
the scroll necessary. What is this one called?
cleanse dark magic.
Okay. The scroll necessary to cast this spell starts to burn away. It's like the paper is caught in a black flame and it is flaking off into this ash that floats and disintegrates above. And you can see at the same time as it's burning slowly down, the color begins to return to Bryn's cheeks. But as the fire burns halfway down, it stutters, and that color flashes for just a moment, and the scroll in reverse reforms in your hands. And you realize...
Okay, I think I have to just do it with more confidence. Let me try it one more time. Okay. Okay. So, counterclockwise, clockwise.
It happens faster this time. Like, it just goes whoosh and burns halfway through, and Bryn like brightens up, and then it just goes and turns right back. You can tell that this is the correct spell. But because Bryn is inflicted with a terrible curse and has fully been turned now, like if you would have hit her with this thing before she turned, you'd have a chance. This is the correct spell. You will need to heighten it somehow, similar to performing big magic in regular Monster of the Week rules. It will probably require either the help of somebody more powerful than you or a very powerful magical item. So while you will be able to heal her, you get the impression that you might not be able to do it right now. But it is the right spell. You can feel it because you saw it working. It's just whatever's happening to her is fending it off.
What if we sacrifice that cursed dagger?
It might not help you remove a curse.
I feel like that could go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
It would definitely juice up the spell, but using a cursed item rather than an enchanted item will have different effects.
Look, I'm Bryn, I trust you. I've always trusted you. I still trust you. I'm ready to fight with you in this second round. I just want us to keep an eye on this little toothy friend of ours.
Do you want like a code word if things start getting out of hand and I feel like I'm going to lose control?
Who uses this code word?
I use it to you, but you could also say it to me if you see it and I don't see it.
Sure.
Okay.
Or, if she starts to drink somebody's blood, we can know that it's happened again as well.
Well, I mean, that's like worst case scenario.
Yeah, hey, this is like a game, a structure that we're putting in place to make ourselves feel good about the steps we need to take to stay safe and positive. So, code words, what are you thinking?
Kumquat.
Kumquat. Done.
Got it.
Does that go both ways? So if we say kumquat, then you know that, you're all acting all vampy?
Sure, unless you want your own word for that.
No, I mean, kumquat's a good word. I like it.
And when are you going to use it, Like,
that's just not going to randomly come up. Yeah.
Okay.
Is everybody healed item figured out to their extent? Yeah. Slachta lovingly rubs a hand over the HP costing items and says, "Are you sure I can't talk you into something?" Okay.
I'll take the grenade.
All right. Do
skeletons count as dark creatures?
Yeah. Basically, any of your regular old blight ghoulies are going to be here.
Yeah, I'll take the.
Okay, your maximum HP is dropped down to 5.
6.
That's like one hit from Rex.
Rex bought the octopus shoes, so the grenade costs 2. You place this into your pouch and know exactly how to use it. And with that knowledge, you feel 2/7 of your essence drain out and form into what looks like a red and purple rectangle that are stuck together. And it floats over to Slakta, who opens her mouth, and you can clearly see, kind of squirrel-pouched, the green one. She puts in the other 2 and says, I love when the grape sticks to the watermelon. Thanks a lot, suckers. And she disappears, and a sign appears on her thing as it closes that says, back after round 2.
Y'all, I think we're giving Slakta a lot of chances, and confidentially, I just got to tell you, I think she sucks.
You're the one who's been her primary advocate. You didn't even put up the hard sell, which is the whole point of the sell. Like, if you've ever tried to buy a car, if you say yes right away, everybody's upset. They won't sell you the car. You gotta earn, make it feel like they got what they wanted out of it.
Yeah, I have flaws, and that is one of them. That is just not a skill that I have. You know, I want to make people feel good, and I get a bad deal in the process.
All right, so
we'll have to unpack that. That has me curious.
Track those items. Once they are used, you get your HP back. It will count as full HP points. So right now, your maximum HP tag is 5. No matter what you are at, when you get them back, your maximum will go up to 2, and they will be 2 full points. Mm-hmm. So if you're at 2 and you get them back, you'll be at 4. Mm-hmm. All right, so Danny DeVito gets way clear of Bryn as she passes through the door, and then you are escorted back to the staging area. The docks from earlier have been cordoned off. In the center of this massive warehouse, you find an armored chariot made of black wood paneling and a shell of enchanted metals. A handler works to fasten the chariot to a pair of thunder lizards, reptiles the size of lions with electricity crackling over their scales. Rex, you would recognize these from your home planet.
Instantly.
You climb into the chariot. There are different positions you may take up.
Well, I pet the lizards affectionately first.
They coo, and they appreciate that, because everybody else seems to be kind of like tough with them. But with the grinding of ancient gears, once again, you and your chariot are raised up into the arena. You can hear the crowd chanting, wizard, wizard, wizard. But you can see that the illusory ocean, which you had just been fighting on pirate ships, has now been replaced with a racetrack. You see another chariot, piloted by a crew of 4 skeletons. Their vehicle is made of bones and black steel, pulled by skeletal unicorns. The third and final chariot, made of translucent ghostly panels and pulled by 2 flying black fledgling dragons, is piloted by a team of 4 vampires. Way up in the VIP box, Slakta raises her hand to signal for you to get ready. The gong rings out, and your chariot lurches forward. Blackout.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh man.
I love the electricity lizards. That's fun.
Yeah, the professor nuked one of them before. All right, sorry we went over, everybody. I'm going to turn it over immediately to Bryn so she can take us through the important parts of this. Sorry we went a little late.
Well, we do have a question from chat. What is your favorite board game?
Oh, well, I hope you guys have another hour and a half to listen to us yak about this.
No, make it quick. I'll go first. Scrabble. I've played competitive speed Scrabble for like 10 years, and Scrabble is my favorite game.
Wow.
Like what? We can't
Yeah.
make it quick. I want to
we
hear
can't move past that.
Each player has 3 minutes to play a full game of Scrabble.
What?
Yeah.
Where did you do this?
How did we not know about this?
It's online. It's called Word Biz. And people from all over the world, you choose your game, so you can play 3 minutes up to like 30 minutes. But I played so much that I got to the point where you're just 3 minutes.
Is for losers, obviously.
Yeah, it was super fun, and I got obsessed with Scrabble. So that's my favorite board game.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I want to hear more about that later. That sounds bad.
Casey.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would say in my whole life, not currently, but in my whole life, at one point, my favorite board game, like by far, so like on the like spectrum of enjoyment of board games, when I was about like 8 or 9, the best board game of all time, Escape from Fireball Island. And it's just like regular fucking Candyland, basically, where you're moving along, but it has like varied topography, and there's like a
What is that?
Something wild is happening.
And at some point, if you land on a certain thing, a fireball shoots out of the volcano, and it like rolls all the way down through the topography of the map. And if you're on the path, it like knocks you off, and it's like, whoa, you're Indiana Jones. So yeah,
That's pretty cool.
You know they made a second edition of that, right?
What?
It just came out like a year ago or two. It was Kickstarter.
What? I'm looking that up right now. Hold on. Escape from Fireball Island. Wow.
Jesse.
I think I like the XCOM board game.
I was thinking of XCOM.
Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite board game. I like cooperative stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I also really like the franchise, so it just like gets my imagination going.
Trin?
This is really tough because I feel like I will get really into like one specific game for a while, but then it'll switch. It won't stay that specific game for a while. So I'll have like favorites for a while. Like when I was a kid, I really loved Mousetrap. Not actually playing the game, just the part where you set everything up and then make the mousetrap. Like playing the game is pointless. It's all about building the mousetrap and deploying it.
I didn't know for years that there was a game that you could play. I thought the game was just setting up the mousetrap.
Yeah, it was just setting up the mousetrap. And I think more recently, I would say similar to Jesse, my favorite types of games are often more cooperative games. So Dead of Winter kind of scratches that itch pretty well because it's a cooperative game where there's potentially an element of one of your teammates working against you. So there's uncertainty and maybe a little deception happening. And you also have your individual goals that you are trying to achieve as an individual player, as well as the group goals. And I like how both of those two things can sometimes be in tension with each other. So yeah. And there's another really fun game that we were really into last Christmas that I'm just realizing now I don't think I've played since Christmas, that I don't remember the name of.
Kill Dr. Luck.
You and I have played this game, Connor. It's the one where you're on a team and you're trying to guess each other's word clues.
Decrypto.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's excellent. I can't really describe it, but it's very, very fun.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I think that leaves you, Connor.
So many good board games have been mentioned. I have so many favorites as an adult. I used to be a couple years ago, really into the deception-based board games like Avalon or Resistance, Werewolf, Battlestar Galactica, stuff like that. The kind of older and weaker of stomach I get, and the more friends I lose to these games, the less fuel I have in the tank to really power a good lie, especially in such a destabilizing year as this one. So I think that I'm going to settle on my very first favorite game, which, as an obsessive child, was Monopoly. And whenever I had a babysitter come over, they would get in the door and be like, "Hey, so hey, we're going to play Monopoly." And I would already have the board set up, and I would just make them sit down and play Monopoly with me just over and over and over again. I had everything memorized about that game. I could tell you the free house cost of Marvin Gardens at any time. So I'm going to go with that one.
Yay. Thanks, guys, for the question. If you want to put more into our Discord under questions for Casting Crew, we might read your question next week. Thanks so much for hanging out. We so appreciate it. Thank you to Mark Thomason, our tech wizard, working all the magic. Thank you, Mark, so much. Thank you to Aaron Buman for our intro, our cool bumpers and everything else, and our music. He does so much stuff behind the scenes. He's pretty incredible. Thanks to Mark Worky, our mod, who shared